and Karen's coming down the stairs. I was confused about why she wouldn't sit down, and she said, these boots are made for walking, and that's just what I'll do, and so forth. Yeah, Karen was telling me last night she thinks that Jan's going to win a miniature today.
Wow.
Which is 25 moves or less.
Oh, we get in here.
And I mean, I agree, but, I think it'll be more than 25 moves. What does Spencer think?
All right, I'm excited for the prospect, but I think most likely still a draw, especially because Magnus won, so he's going to be going full Kramnik now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Full Kramnik.
Wait, are Radjabov and Geary upset now?
Yeah.
Thanks, for your long name for this.
Porygon.
Yeah,
It's a Pokemon.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Porygon.
And then thanks for the 999 centidues before we came on to starter checks. That was good. Let's see. Make sure you always refresh the stream at all times. Even if there's no reason to, just do it anyway. And then we have a train. Tensor Extension said hi or something. White Phosphorus subscribed. The spelling of phosphorus is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Kovan Kurtkoven subscribed. Sounds pretty Dutch to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the Dutchiest.
Okay, why don't you zoom the camera out slightly? Because I'm cut
Yeah.
off.
I thought it should have been zoomed out yesterday a little too.
Yeah, but I didn't set it up. Yeah.
Well, I can't do it when people are down
I'm
here.
complaining about it.
Yeah. Will I do this?
Oh, it's already at 100. Okay, so
That's it.
darn.
Yeah.
That's as much as it zooms.
Probably have to move the camera back a little.
Yeah.
I could do that if you want to.
No.
Oh, okay.
We only have 9 computers, 10 monitors, and 70 lights here. I like how you always move it back a little, then you go back into
Oh,
it.
that's smart.
Yeah, I like
This
that.
is the right way to do it.
Yeah, but then you get a lot of exercise.
Still be more. Actually, I need to just tilt it a little bit now too.
You're already tilted? The game hasn't even started
Right.
yet.
I'm getting tilted.
Wait, let me ban this guy.
It's not even Tuesday.
Let's see. Da-da-da. I guess I can't ban him, but I'll time him out. If you say anything negative about the 3 of us, I'm going to ban you. Then I'm going to talk to the heads of the other
Back up
sites.
1 second, just so I
and
can get in
I'm going to ban them too, you on those sites. Then I'm going to call your boss and get you banned. And then
that looks better. Now you
your
can
children,
pull
your
up.
children's children will be kicked out of school. And some other jokes.
Wait, what'd they say?
He said we're sleepy and we should get more sleep. I didn't ban him because he's a sub.
Aw,
I would have banned him if
that's
he
not
wasn't.
rude.
Yeah, that's rude.
It's just silly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just silly.
Yeah.
Child talk.
I wanted to ban him before he even chatted. I didn't even know who he was. But I sit
Always
down ready to
ban.
ban people. Right. Yeah.
Obviously, I need more sleep. I play video games until 3 a.m. and I wake up at 6 a.m.
I still
That's
cut
not
off.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Colvin. Yeah.
What?
We're still getting cut off. Oh, I can't cut you off. You're the star.
Yeah, I mean, nobody cares about that. Especially me. I care the least. That's right. The chat is in sub-only mode. Boo. If there's one thing I hate, it's the people who chat. And if there's something I hate even more, it's people who sub who chat. Now, you might say, why would you hate people who sub who chat more? That's obvious. It's unlikely you'll get banned if you're a sub. So if you're not a sub and you chat, it's banned. But then if you are a sub, I'm like,
It's like they have extra defense.
yeah, like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're offering me a draw already. Yeah. So I have an opinion on something, but since it's right, it's more of a fact.
Yeah.
Okay. So 99% of people or more, they think about the players the way they think about themselves. Okay. And since most of the people in the world have no accomplishments of note, they project that on the players. Okay. So this is especially true of Jan. Of Magnus, it's not true at all. People like Magnus, and then they bow down.
Yep.
And you can see this. This is actually weird to me, but it's true. On Jeopardy, okay, when Ken Jennings was winning every game, okay, they were, or not Ken, well, Ken Jennings, but the other guy too, James Holzhauer, when they actually lost, when they lost and they were out, people on the internet went nuts, like crying, and he must have lost on purpose. Right, so you guys are all nuts, okay? Then, so yesterday's game, everybody's like, oh yeah, I knew 5 years ago that Magnus would win every game in 100 moves, and Magnus this and Magnus that, and I'm like, Magnus has drawn 20 World Championship games in a row, and he won the longest game ever, where he was worse for half the game with White. What are you talking about? Now, when they interview Jan, you guys answer the way you would answer. You guys are like, oh, Magnus is better than me, and I suck, and I'm just glad to be here. That's what you're expecting. And Jan is like, yeah, I was better, and I had 2 bishops, and I played this because it was tricky, and I didn't want to draw. And you guys are like, what? What do you mean? Aren't you just trying to draw Magnus every game and then hopefully lose by the lowest possible score? And Jan's trying to win the match. Yeah. And when Jan thinks he has the better position, he doesn't say, oh, that's Magnus. Oh, that's what you guys do. Okay? And so he went too far trying to win when several times in the game he could have drawn and he had better positions. That's why he played rook a c8. He thought that was good for him, and Magnus thought that was good for him. Magnus is like, yay, rook a c8. And Jan's like, yay, rook a c8 when they traded queen for 2 rooks. Yeah. And then the engine's like, draw. Everything's draw. Okay? And there's 4 possibilities. You think you're better, which was Magnus. You think you're better, which is Jan. It's different because different color. You think it's a draw, the engine. And Kramnik said he was winning with either color. It's like White's winning. What if you're black? Well, then Black's winning. So, yeah. But anyway, Jan's not there to draw and lose the match. Jan wants to win the match, and he's trying to win every game, and he wants to make complications. Yeah. And then you guys are like, why doesn't he draw? He's so much worse than Magnus. And then, even worse than all of that, if that's possible, a lot of people are like, oh, every game they draw, Jan gains a rating point.
That is worse, you're right.
And Magnus loses a rating point.
Right.
That's why you guys aren't the world champion. You're like, oh, he drew. Let's see what the rating calculation is.
No, I hate to agree with everything you just said, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah, terrible.
And, I mean, these guys are, like, really objective. So if their position's good, they play. And if it's bad, they defend. And also, I had another point, but I already forgot.
Right, I'm too mad to, like, speak coherently.
Right.
Okay.
And sleepy, too, don't forget.
Right. Okay, but, like, low-rated players that Spencer and I taught over the years, and Spencer still does, their thinking is, I'm 1430, and really they're like 1330, but they just give themselves the 100 points. Yep. And then they're like, I'm playing a 1510, so I offer to draw.
Yeah.
And then I just quit teaching. I mean, yeah. So
I got coffee, Indo.
Yeah, both players are trying to win, and occasionally, not too often, one of them will win. But yeah, this guy who's a Magnus lover on the not the usual guy, another guy. He was like, I told everybody in 2018 that this is how Magnus wins all of his games. Yeah, that's what he said. And I'm like, what? Magnus won 1 game 3 years after you said something, and now you're Nostradamus
like,
over there.
I knew a guy who bought a used car once, and 10 years later, bam, herpes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So as you know, that's the first game Magnus won in a classical game in a world championship since 2015.
I know that. He said that was one. It's obviously been bothering him that he hasn't.
Yeah, that's right.
Won, so
it was 2016, right?
Yeah. But I'm trying to make him feel bad.
Hey, I'm gonna go grab my phone. And I'll be right back.
And also Magnus is better than Jan, but
I know.
Truth hurts. Yeah.
I remembered my last point. Jan was pressing to win, but he lost, and so you guys are like, oh, you should have just drawn. I mean, Jan's won a lot of games like that, where it's a draw and he presses and he wins, and then you guys are like, wow, Jan won because he's great.
In an interview before the match, Magnus said, Jan's pretty good when he's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Says, but his history is when he's playing in a tournament and it goes bad early, then he no good.
Not as good.
So he says that happens in this match. Let's find out.
He's very emotional.
And then it happened. So
he's emotional. That's true.
By the way, this happened to Anand. Jan played E4. When Anand played Kasparov in 1995 at the World Trade Center, the first 8 games were drawn.
Yeah.
Anand won the 9th game, and then that was the end of Anand.
Hey, I mean, I wasn't really paying attention then because I was a small child. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, they're moving, huh?
Yeah.
It's a Ruy. But when Anand won, did you think he'd win the match? Like the first
Well, I
game?
don't know. I mean, good chances to win the match. Then he lost every game.
Right. It was just like, I would think like, wow, Anand won. Like, he's going to be world champion.
Yeah, and then this is reminiscent, also before you were born, 1984, Korchnoi Kasparov. In game 1 of that match, Korchnoi won with black against the A6, A3 Queen's Indian.
Yeah.
Kasparov's main line.
yeah.
Korchnoi won with black like easily.
I
Just
didn't
crushed
know.
him. And then that was the end of Korchnoi. God
Dang.
damn, then Kasparov's won every game. Okay, so they're playing the same deviled egg. I mean, the same Ruy Lopez. Yeah.
Probably. Which anti-martial will it be? A4?
Maybe.
I think A4.
I like the way Jan was like, yeah, sometimes you lose, and tough game, and tough break. And then he's like,
He had a good attitude.
what are you
about it.
how you gonna win the next game? He said in style.
Yeah.
So he played A4 again. Is this 3 in a row?
Maybe. Two or three, I guess.
Yeah, A4, B4, A4, Rook B8. So this is the third A4. And then he played H3 in the first game.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this position, in game 1 of the match, Jan played H3. In games 3 and 5, and now 7, he played A4. In game 3, Magnus played Bishop B7. And in games 5 and now 7, he played Rook B8. Takes. And H3. So this is still game 5, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Right. So games 5 and 7 haven't deviated from the septum. I think he played D6 here.
Seems like what he would play.
Yeah, then
There it is.
C3, B4, D3, takes. If I remember right. And then D5, I think. And then knight D2. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the same as game
This
5.
is different, right?
No?
He played D3 first.
Oh, you're right. He played C3. Yeah, you're right.
I
Yeah.
think so. I don't remember.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was C3, B4, D3, takes, D5,
Yeah.
knight B, D2 was game 5.
Looks right.
Yeah. And then it was like takes, bishop D6, queen C2. This was the previous game in
Mainly
this
etc.
variation. Yeah. Okay, so instead of playing C3, he's PO'd because he lost the last game. So he didn't. Now he can play R2, D2 because he got he could play here, for example.
He lost to Karyakin in 2016. That was the last game that Magnus lost in a world championship.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't lose to Fabi any game, even the Rapid.
How do I ban everybody when everybody's a sub?
What?
Can I go to Google and type in how do I, and then they'll give me some suggestions? No.
I don't even see anybody to ban.
Right.
I just like banning people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Moobot. Ban Moob. Oh.
Already 20,000 on. Hey, yesterday like 140,000. It was the biggest stream on Twitch yesterday.
Yeah.
Was the chess.com with Fabi and Rufus and Doofus, mainly Doofus. Unbannable. Darn.
Yay.
Ken Show desubscribed. Now, in this position, B4 makes less sense because there's no pawn to hit on C3.
Right.
And there's giving away the C4 square. So now it's time for Magnus to think for 75 hours.
Right.
By the way, the three of us agree yesterday's game was great.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was great. It was great from all. I mean, it was and then in the press conference, the questions are always so inane. I mean, it's
Right.
just they ask some dumb questions. The players are like, ugh, worst question
Yeah.
next.
It's 1 a.m. and we've been playing chess for 8 hours.
Yeah, and they're like, no. Now that you lost a game, do you think some other games will be drawn? And did you realize Game 6 is the most decisive games in the World Championships? And the players are like,
Right.
shut up.
Did you know that 6 is an upside down 9?
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Yeah, classic press conference.
My favorite part of any press conference is when a reporter or a good chess player, either one, ask a question about the game, and the players are confused because the game's 136 moves in 8 hours, and they're like, "What position? What if I do that?" And the reporter or good player has no idea what they're talking about.
Right.
So if they're like, "Magnus, why didn't you play this move?" And Magnus is like, "Well, then what if he plays this?" And they're like, "I don't. I'm asking a question here. I don't know." When you give an answer, I got nothing. Yeah, they ask
That is what it was like.
Yeah.
That is exactly.
Here
what
was
it
the best part. You remember yesterday when they were talking about the longest game ever, and I said, "Oh, the Karpov Korchnoi game was the Bishop and Ron called a rook pawn." So the same thing happened with Magnus, and Magnus says, "Oh, this is even longer than my game with Vichy." And then Maurice corrected him and said, "Actually, Karpov Korchnoi was longer than your game with Vichy. Vichy was third." And he said, "Oh, you mean the Bishop and Ron color rook pawn game?" And Maurice had no idea what he was talking about, so he said, "Yeah."
Aw.
But he didn't know. He didn't say yeah like conflict. He was like, "Yeah." And then hopefully he's like hoping Magnus is right.
Right.
Yeah. He's like, "I don't know. I was just told that was the longest game. I don't know what you're talking about." So yeah, it's funny.
But Maurice is super strong.
He's something.
Yeah, I would expect him to know too.
What?
Yeah, but he was kidding.
Oh, I'm not saying he's super strong, but I'm saying he's a GM. I would expect him to know a little bit about the game.
No.
I'm not saying.
Well, he could not know some game like some famous game.
No, the
But now
thing
if he's
is,
asking a
if
question
you're
about
if you're
it,
a
it would just
right,
answer.
He
right,
was
right.
just fed that information.
If you
Oh.
right, if you're a
He didn't
reporter and
know
you
anything.
ask a question or say something to the world champion and they respond and you go what, then that's not the best.
So
Don't
you're
know as
saying
much
he
as
didn't come up with his own question?
right,
Oh,
yeah.
No, of course not. He didn't know that was no.
Oh, I thought he was just
No.
got confused or something.
No, you give everybody way too much credit. Nobody
right.
knows
Yeah.
anything.
He's right.
Like you want to get an estimate on the kitchen, and then they don't. That's how everybody is. They're like, "What's a kitchen?" And I mean that's what happens.
I mean, we all appreciate it's like enduring your naivete, but
Yeah.
there's no way that he knew.
Yeah, nobody knows. Nobody knows
Nobody knew
anything.
anything
Yeah.
about
No,
it.
I'm saying why it's unusual for a GM not to have glanced at the game he's asking a question about.
Right.
It's just
No, you're
strange.
right. He could
You-
say, "Well, somebody told me this, so maybe I should look up a thing for 1 second about
Right.
it."
Do you know who's actually good at that? Like the opposite of Maurice, is Irina Krush.
Researching.
Yeah. She researches everything and looks at the data, and
I would think she would.
yeah. She's like very. I don't know what the word is.
Meticulous.
That's the word.
good word.
Yeah. I can't say words like that. Okay, so this is weird. Magnus played H6, and Jan's thinking forever, or more likely, Jan's not at the board. Now you're talking. Man, speaking of not at the board, you Spencer left.
I just blow my nose.
Danya's also meticulous like that.
So knight c3 was played, and I'm guessing he wasn't at the board and came back and played knight c3. So this is completely different than the other games because in every other Ruy Lopez, Jan played c3, and now he's playing knight c3. So he's trying to take Magnus out of his prep. And yesterday in the press conference, when Magnus got nothing out of the opening, and Maurice asked him about, or somebody did, about b5, and he says, "You thought forever." He was like, "Yeah, I can't remember my preparation." But it seems like he must have got mixed up in his preparation because that position was already fine for black.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he prepared, but yeah. Maybe Magnus and Jan were thrown off yesterday by Hess's lack of facial hair. That seems likely. They're like, there were 2 MVLs here, now there's 1, and they're like, what's happening? Yeah.
Loves the Ruy Lopez so much that she even spells it correctly now.
Yeah,
Yay.
I also,
Oh,
I don't think Magnus doesn't like Maurice. I think you guys are confusing
Right, yeah.
after game, tension with, in interviews with not liking.
Yeah, after the
I had
Bach
the-
Crow game.
I had the impression he doesn't like him.
Yeah, but I don't think
You don't think that's true?
No.
No, I think that, obviously they had that spat, but Magnus doesn't care that much.
Right. And not only that, in my opinion, which has got a fact, and this is a fact, and that's a fact. Right, the tombstone. Yeah. When he's meet Billy Bob Thornton.
What is the fact, though? I
Yeah.
want to know.
No, but he says he says I don't need a gun to get the jump on a tub like you. And he says, "Is that a fact?" And he goes, "That's a fact." And then he slaps him and makes him bleed. But anyway, here's the fact. Okay? I'm serious, too. If Magnus really didn't like Maurice, like if he really didn't, Maurice wouldn't be there doing that.
Yeah.
Because Magnus would tell the organizers, not Maurice.
I don't see, well,
And Maurice wouldn't be there.
I don't think it's a strong dislike. I think
Yeah.
that he's annoyed by him.
I don't think so, because I think these other people who do the Maurice job, I
Yeah.
think they're worse. So he just doesn't like being interviewed and asking any questions after a game.
I think he
Yeah.
No.
to me it's a mild annoyance, but you don't think he's annoyed?
Nah, I
do.
think when they go out to eat, they smoke cigars and say to evil. That's what I think. That's what I do. So yeah. No, I think in the chess world, very few people actually don't like each other. But if they pretend on the internet, then it piques your interest. See how you said pique? That's pretty good.
I mean, I'm just not seeing this at all like you, but
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of dislike going around.
Yeah, but it's like fake dislike.
I don't think it's fake.
Yeah. Maurice is his Huckleberry. Right. Yeah. It would be a bigger story if someone did like Maurice. Man, truth hurts. Yeah.
Agreed. Agree to agree.
Anyway, Maurice is in the Hall of Fame. So, the U.S. Hall of Fame. But my next question is, why isn't Magnus playing in the U.S. Championship?
All right.
Okay, so after knight c3, unlike Jan, who's never at the board, Magnus is at the board, and he's like, what's all this then? So sometimes white plays knight d5, and sometimes white just does the usual. But I think knight d5 is a more common place to put your knight instead of this, because usually they do that, and their c-pawn's not blocked. One of the engine lines is to play knight b4 and c5. That's a very unusual way to play c5 in the Ruy when the pawn is on c2, because you can get kicked. And normally you play this because you get a tempo, but after trading the a-pawns, you can't. So that's a strange way to play c5. I don't think Magnus is going to do that. Another engine line is to play it passive as all heck. Bishop d7, rook e8.
That sounds more like Magnus's game.
You could also play rook e8, bishop f8 immediately. Always prepare bishop f8. And one of the reasons you want your rook on f8 and your bishop on f8 is that with your rook on the e file, it makes it possible later to play d5, and it makes it more difficult for white to play d4. The problem with rook e8 is you're weakening f7. That's why he played h6, so there's never any knight g5 for white. Thanks, Rufus Blunder.
Hey, Rufus Wonder, how's it going?
Yeah, Lawful Waffle is the right idea.
Like all the people in the chess world who I hate, or is it whom? Which is most people. I really don't hate them. I barely hate anybody. Yeah.
I sang that song last night at karaoke, The Joker. Some people call me Marty.
I mean, I picked Topolov up over my head and I spun him, but I don't hate him.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, we're like that, son. You like Topolov.
Very
we were
nice.
walking outside and he was like, Karen, right? Yeah.
No, what I thought was really sweet, I don't know where you were.
Uh-oh.
I came up. You know how they have the screens in the windows at the St. Louis Chess Club so you can watch the game from outside. I was standing there watching. It was towards the end of the round. He'd already finished, and he came walking up, and he stood next to me and said, "So what's going on in the games?"
And you said, "Look, bitch, I'm looking at these games. Be quiet." Yeah.
Who are you?
I was
Yeah.
it was so nice for him to include me in my dumb little thoughts. Now, he's a very nice man.
Yeah, I like Topolov. Yeah. Unfortunately, Topolov tried to pick me up. It could have been we were intoxicated, and that didn't work out for him. He wasn't. Yeah.
He has yet
He's
to recover.
stronger in chess than physically. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, he's really nice.
Man, Topolov had a drink at Sub-Zero, and it was like, in Vegas, those weird drinks. It was like that, but bigger. He had a drink that was like for 80 people. It was like one of these like things you put a big sundae in, like a really big sundae that you can't eat, and it was alcohol. It was like this,
that
and I was
sounds
like,
good.
it sounded like it was for 8 people. It looked like. So yeah, that's why I could pick him up.
Or one Bulgarian.
Oh snap! Yeah. So knight c3, Magnus totally confused because this doesn't look like any of the other games, and this is going to be a very slow positional, and Jan's going to have the slightest of advantages because these are both the king bishops because I said so, and that king bishop is pretty good, and that bishop
No.
not so good. Yeah.
Hey, could we talk about some moves that are less likely but interesting?
Yeah.
The couple that I had for black were knight d4
Uh-huh.
and also bishop e6.
Right. The active moves.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
never see active moves.
I mean, they changed the structure, so it might be bad.
Yeah,
Like,
the engine
doesn't like this.
likes white in this
Yeah,
position,
or
which this seems
C5.
pretty forcing, right?
Yeah. That's what
And
I was
then
looking
here,
at. It looks good for white, yeah.
yeah, because we got this,
d5.
and then when you're not looking, Karen, so you weren't looking, you were looking over there. Then knight g6
Yeah.
when you're not looking. It's not like a great move, but it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
And then bishop d2, and then this, yeah, and e5
Tesla.
later.
Thank you, Tesla.
Yeah, and the engine says white is clearly slightly better.
Maybe Tesla does the
And then
edge
the
for-
other variation you said was here.
Yeah.
Right. And
That's
after
nice.
bishop
So,
there,
still not.
this is actually the point of knight c3 is now we can go here.
Yes.
And, it's just pleasant for white.
Yeah. No,
White,
this is. I had similar positions against Sanjay Gandhi, and then I was always a little uncomfortable with black here.
yeah, and like basically this rook is pretty good and that rook is not as good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this bishop is, you gotta be kidding me. You kidding me?
You gotta be fluffy.
That's
Kid
pretty
me, right
bad.
meow.
Yeah, it's just passive. I mean, black may or may not be losing, but it's just, it's nice to have white. White has pleasure position, as Boris Gloko would say.
Yeah. Right, the win does make it more dramatic now, because Jan has to start trying to, go overboard eventually. And he still has some time left, but every
Yeah, there's
game
a lot of games left.
tightens the noose a little bit.
So here's my question, and I don't believe anybody in the chat when you answer my question. It's going to be 50-50, so it's not going to help. This is the middle of the match. This is game 7, and Jan's white. So if you want to make things the fairest, which I looked in the mirror today and it wasn't me, possibly, perhaps not, in games 8 and 9, Magnus is white.
Right.
What do you think?
Possibly. Dottie, that's not true, because knight takes e7 check would at least get out of that.
Yeah,
Also, knight
he's a
takes
daisy if he does a dozen. Yeah.
takes e7 check is fine.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Is Magnus going to get white the next 2 games?
Right, that's what happened in the last, or like 2 matches ago or so.
Yeah.
Is that it was at some point. Actually, Magnus had 2 blacks in a row against Anand, I remember.
We talked about this in other streams, but you guys weren't here, or you forgot, or you weren't listening. Thanks, Tesla. Okay. So
Tesla.
if somebody's white in game 1, then that means every single game of the match, they have more or the same number of whites as their opponent, which seems a little unfair to the person who's black. Seems like it. So if the person who's white in game 1, 3, 5, and 7 now has 4 whites to 3, then in game 8, Magnus ties it up, and it's 4 games to 4 in whites and blacks. Now we give Magnus white in game 9. Now he has more whites than blacks for the remainder of the match. So and they do that sometimes. So I don't know if they're doing it here, but I guess that was like sort of above your level of understanding.
Well,
So-
Bonarici took it next level. He said that the games need to be divisible by 4, and 14 probably isn't.
Yeah,
Well,
14 is
I'll have
harsh.
to call Holden
Yeah.
to be sure, but I'm pretty sure it's not.
Now, Indo Queen is explaining how Magnus is picking his nose. However,
All right,
Magnus is 1100 at picking his nose compared to
Ivanchuk.
Ivanchuk. God damn. Ivanchuk 100% is picking his nose. Back me up.
All right, right.
He
now,
said Ivanchuk. I mean, because
Yeah.
Ivanchuk's always picking his nose at all times. When he's asleep, he's picking his nose.
I knew a photographer who was explaining how they have to, try really hard to get a picture of Ivanchuk because he's often picking his nose.
Yeah,
so
he's
they have to
yep.
lie and wait, and then when he's done picking,
Yeah, he's always
Can somebody kind of tell him?
I don't know.
Hey, you're.
I mean,
He literally
You're a
doesn't
no-
care. He
you're a
lives in he lives in
no-nose
he lives in his own world.
all right.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Yeah. And when we talked to Jerry Seinfeld about it, he said it was a scratch and there was no penetration. And, so,
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Yeah, when Magnus is at a press conference after his game, he's explaining the game. He's just picking his nose the whole time.
All right.
Yeah, it's just 100% of the time.
I
Yeah.
mean, You do that in private, dude.
Right.
He does, but
What's going on?
He does.
but yeah,
You don't have to tell him.
he literally doesn't care. He's Ivanchuk.
Well, if I
Yeah.
ever meet him, I'll
He's
I'll
like
slip him a note.
he's beyond the scope of like a human being. He's he's just too
He's
good.
ascended, yeah.
Yeah.
At that point.
He needs to
Right.
be told.
No.
So yeah, Magnus must be out of prep if he's thinking for 10 minutes or already.
Yeah.
He's picking the right move. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. And I like the way, Jan plays something a little bit different, gains a time advantage, and he's still slightly
he
better.
moved.
So he played rook e8 because Magnus knows always play bishop f8. He knows it. Knows.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Too bad Jan can't play knight g5, rook f8, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Right.
still.
Now, in French, Karen, if he knows rook, bishop f8 is good, would you say savoir or connaître? Exactly.
I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. You're thinking that I know.
No, I was thinking. I know a little bit of French.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the difference 35 years ago. I don't know. Yeah, savoir, obviously.
And frankly.
And frankly, right, yeah. Nobody knows. Yeah. It seems like Kangaroo knows.
Body knows.
Yeah. Kangaroo, you don't say. Yes. Anybody?
Je sais.
Yeah, right. Choose it. Yeah, you don't say. Yeah, that's good. Nice one. Okay, he got it. Yeah. All right. Dans cette position, c'est pas bon pas noir parce que something. So he wants to play bishop f8. Always play bishop f8. Then he's still very passive. He could play his usual knight e7 to g6 and play c5. He could play bishop b7 or bishop e6 and try to play d5. It's hard to play d5 after knight c3. On the other hand, it's hard for white to play c3, d4 when c3 is illegal. So it's like this move stops white and black from playing d4, d5.
Yep.
So it's sort of like the Blair Witch Project. Nothing happens, nothing happens, nothing happens. The game's over. People look sort of pissed. And so forth.
What about knight h4?
Put it in H.
I'm afraid a little, but maybe not.
Why can't I take that?
Rook. Oh, okay.
See, I got two guys, one for each
All
of
right,
them.
so I could still do that.
Yeah, because then if you take, there's
got
bishop
tricks.
f7 check and we both resign, and there's queen h5 and we both
H5,
resign.
yeah, exactly.
Let's see what the engine says.
Doesn't
It
like
says
it.
queen h5, black
Immediately,
resigns.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is hanging, this is hanging, this is hanging if you take. This is the only refutation, because
Yeah. Otherwise you're done, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Also, for those of you in the chat that are like, G6, you will know my name is the Lord. Actually, this is a quicker mate than this.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because here comes the bishop time.
Everything is...
Everybody plays here.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to a super GM, they're going to play here instead of here, even though it's a quicker mate to play there, because it's fun to play there.
Yeah, it's mate in 3, right?
Yeah. Okay, so bishop h4, I assume bishop takes. Yep. Now, if you... Yeah, it says everything is plus a million. By the way, after here, this is made in 11. Man, the
Yeah.
truth hurts.
Queen g6, queen h6 is the...
Here's my favorite variation by quite a bit.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't play king here or here because of knight g3. You have to go here, and then you go here.
Because knight f2, king g1's no problem. Yeah. But knight g3 was forking the king and queen, so you can't allow that. check.
Yeah, so that's you have to give him the rigmarole.
Knight f2 doesn't matter.
Yeah.
King G1.
Anyway, this will all happen.
Except for one thing. I mean, he'll never play knight takes e4 if it doesn't work. So,
Yeah.
but knight h4.
So
seems like
so
a
he
move.
could play knight h4 to get in there, but
Yeah.
that gives up d4.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I showed this position to Rick Astley,
Yeah.
and I said, "Would you play knight h4?"
Never gonna give you.
And he
up.
says he's never going to give d4 up, never going to
No,
let
he
it
won't
down.
allow knight d4. You're right. So maybe he'll prepare it with like knight e2,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like knight e2, then knight h4. But it's slow.
Now seriously, after that Rick Astley comment, do you miss Ethan?
I was
Right,
thinking
right,
about
right.
Ethan. I can't ever hear about Rick Astley.
As if I didn't hate that song enough already.
Yeah. And so forth. Got spring rolled. Ooh, I like that.
We used to have
Sounds
a
better. Yeah.
a player at the chess club, a 13-year-old master. And he loved to rickroll people, obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that song was made before his dad was born. Also, on Family Guy, when they do a Back to the Future takeoff, and the guy makes a phone call and he says, Rick, this is your cousin Marvin Astley.
Yeah.
Says, you know that boring, generic looking sound you've been looking for? Listen. And then he plays, and then Brian's singing Never Gonna Give You.
Yeah, that was good.
That bland. Oh, man. So the engine wants to play knight d5, bishop f8, knight takes, queen takes, bishop e3 with the slightest of advantages.
Boring.
Right. I'm more inclined to think he'll play bishop d2 when he does move his bishop instead of here, because then his e-pawn's more protected, and this diagonal's not bad. This diagonal has more squares on it, but yeah.
I think he'll probably play knight e2 here.
Yeah, you think he's gonna do the Rick roll?
Yeah,
and then he's gonna play
he
c3,
protects
d5.
d4. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the engine's top three moves are knight here, bishop here, Papa
Dang,
John's.
doesn't like my move.
Doesn't say it doesn't like it.
Doesn't like.
Yeah. After knight here, I wonder if I can throw in d5. Let's find out. Come on, d5. Oh, man, it's not playing d5. It likes your move.
Yeah.
Can I play d5 or after resign? Wow, look at this. Takes, d4.
Boom shakalaka. I like it because, yeah, it makes sense.
Oh, if you go
D5
here, there's a tactic. You take
Nine-
this.
Oh, I thought it was just 94.
That's the tactic, and then I win a pawn.
Oh, that was
I'm the best. Magnus would like this because he has the two bishops for the extra pawn, except for one thing.
Right.
He won't like
This
this.
is not a
No.
Marshall player's dream here.
Yeah, yeah. The only person who would like black there is Marshall Mathers. That's not a Marshall player, right?
I'll have to take your word on that.
Yeah,
Wait, about Eminem.
yeah. He played knight d5 as engine recommended.
Why doesn't Nepo play something more exciting than the Ruy Lopez?
Why doesn't Magnus play this Sveshnikov so I can see what's going on there?
Yeah.
I wish he would just do it for me. Like, I want to see 25 moves of theory and then the Jan novelty, and then Magnus wins anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I mean, the Sveshnikov is good enough for Fabi, but he's afraid to play it against Jan? I guess the answer is yes. Or maybe he thought the Ruy Lopez, Fabi's really good at that, and Jan's not as
Possible,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what more exciting opening do you want if it's e45? I mean,
See, Niffy Jiffy, you were expecting an Italian, but instead, pause for effect, it was some kind of Spanish.
right.
Yeah, I know Spencer would like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Some kind of Spanish.
I don't know what you're talking about.
On Family Guy, Peter wrote a book, and it was an erotic book, and it was read by Betty White, and it was Betty White, and he was like, she was totally hot, like Italian, like an Italian woman or some kind of Spanish, because he wasn't sure she was Italian. So he wanted the Italian, but this is the Spanish. So it's some kind, yeah.
A King's Gambit. Well, good luck.
All roads lead
Don't
to.
hold your breath.
It's
Family
funny,
Guy.
like you guys are always like, why don't they play this horrible opening? But I'm like, why don't they play the opening they played last World Championship every game? So Magnus could play this Sveshnikov every game. You think what's his name? Jan would play Bishop B5 on move 3?
Nah. I think he would.
It'd just be a Sveshnikov?
Yeah, he'd play main line probably.
Darn.
Thank you, M Tuesday, for this.
Well, he hasn't lost with black yet, so he's probably not going to play C5 unless he does. Yeah. Thanks, Tuesday. All right. Now, on the Flintstones, when they have a guest star, it's not the guest star, but they always give them a name that has to do with stones. So there's like Cary Granite and Rock Hudson, which they didn't change. Okay?
Yeah.
And there's other things like that. However, there was one where they didn't give them that name. They just gave him a silly name. Okay? And the actress's name in real life is Tuesday Weld.
Yeah.
What was her name on The Simpsons? On Flintstones. What was her name? It's weird because usually they just put some rock in there.
Oh, so she's not.
But they didn't do that.
Oh, I don't
They-
know.
Right. Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh.
They just thought that was funny. Hey, it's Tuesday, Wednesday. And I'm like, that doesn't have any rocks in it. What? Yeah, I was furious.
I like when they were on Family Guy. They were doing Flintstones.
Like walking
He's like,
dead
"Hey,
end.
Rock, Peter.
Dead
Like,
end.
you know, did you have a good Rock Tuesday? You know, it just said Rock before.
Right.
Randomly
But also they did another one when they go to New York when he becomes an artist, Chris. They're walking down the street, him and Meg, I guess. I think somebody,
that's right.
and then it turns into the Flintstones.
Yeah.
They're walking in New York, all of a sudden they're on the Flintstones set, and the music changes to the Flintstones music. Then they're like, wait, and then they walk back because they're like, wait, this is wrong.
Yeah, I remember that.
Go Flintstones.
Anyways, if you played a King's Gambit, you'd play D5 on move 2, and then it wouldn't be so exciting.
3?
Yeah, 3. No, I meant 2.
Oh, not E takes F4, knight F3, D5.
Well, if you do that, you might as well play D5 first, because
okay.
then E takes D, E takes F. Because if you play E takes F first, bishop C4.
Yeah, but none of that's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all true.
It's funny. Nigel is one of the few super GMs who's played the King's Gambit, and he just says it's garbage.
Yeah.
He's like, I played it once or twice, but I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
What about when Ivanchuk and Nakamura both played the King's Gambit against each other in a match? Weird match.
One of the games was in the Ivanchuk match with Naka.
Yeah.
Went this way.
Knight C3, knight C6.
Yeah, and he played F5
yeah.
really early. I don't know if it was here. He might have played here first.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And Ivanchuk beat Naka that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he played here or he played this and then played F5. But it was fine.
Yeah, that was cool. I remember that.
Yeah. Naka's played the King's Gambit in the U.S. Championship against Onishuk. And also, Naka played either a Vienna or a King's Gambit, and he played. This isn't a joke. You can look this game up.
I know what you're gonna say.
He played Queen E2 really early, then King D1, Queen E1.
Yeah, I remember that game. Yeah.
And then it still was a draw.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it was Onishuk. Yeah.
Yeah, it was yeah. But by the way, there's more than one good Onishuk.
Yeah.
It's not clear that Onishuk is the best Onishuk in the world. It probably isn't now.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
Vlad's better.
Yeah, there's some good Onishuks. Yeah.
But Alex used to be stronger.
Right. Okay, so Bishop F8 was played because...
I always play Bishop F8.
Yeah.
Hey, Felix Frias.
So, like, it's normal to play C3 here, but then Magnus will be like, finally I can play B4. But he won't play B4. But he could.
They could, yeah.
So, another reason to play Bishop F8, other than for try to prevent D4, is now if we take this and you take with the bishop, I can play knight E7, which heretofore I could not play. And then the knight could go to G6, bishop E6, and Magnus offers a draw, except for the offering the draw part. It's weird the engine thinks this is the best move. That's like, I don't know if I would consider that move. Yeah.
Pretty boring.
Yeah, bishop D2, C3, very slow.
Stretching is the right
Now,
move.
now you might be wondering why Jan's not moving. Jan's not at the board.
Yeah.
It's good
Yay,
reason. Good
thank you,
reason.
Tesla.
Yeah.
Let's see what time it is. I have to go take Archer to get his flu shot, and I'm getting mine too. I don't usually get it, but I'm gonna get it this year.
What happened?
All right.
I'm about well, I'll probably leave here about 9:20. A little bit over an hour.
Yeah, some guy broke into our house like a week ago, and he had a shotgun, and he shot our chimney a lot. And we're like, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I heard you guys wanted a flu shot."
You're reusing.
No, they never heard that.
I hadn't heard it.
I did.
No, it's not. When she says reusing, I change the joke and make it better, and she doesn't like that. Like, we talked about it in private, and then when I did it here, she's like, "Oh, you're reusing."
No, it's a joke. It was a joke already for me.
That's not reusing it. I'm like telling you
Repurposing.
No, because I haven't said it yet. It's like we're discussing it in private, and then I could use it on the air.
Right, she was just testing it
It's
out.
not. It's not. That's the first time I use that joke.
Well,
also,
you used
they
it
don't.
on
They
me.
don't get the joke.
Right.
Yeah.
They do. Hey, those people were arrested.
Michigan chess.
Did they turn themselves in, or they
999.
found them?
I don't know.
Yeah. 999. It's true we don't. No, I don't get it. Right.
Yeah. Milk the funk.
Yeah.
No, they had to be apprehended. They're hiding.
Yeah.
I promise we didn't get
Their lawyer was like, "Oh yeah, they're coming back." And then he said, just kidding.
Except for one
And then
thing.
a funny lawyer, yeah. Yeah, it turned out the sheriff's department found them. They were hanging out with OJ. So, yeah. Harsh.
You don't get the joke. Like the chimney has a flue.
They don't know what a chimney is.
Yeah, they do.
They don't know what a flue is. No.
They don't know what a shotgun is.
Right, yeah.
Or
Shotgun,
shot.
they might know.
Only if they're American.
Yeah.
Why does this keep?
But their favorite song was Sweetwater Jack, so they know what a shotgun is. Oh, snap.
What about if looks could kill, you would be an Uzi or a shotgun? Bang. What's up with that thing? I want to know. How does it hang?
Mm-hmm.
Classic song. 2 guns in a row there. An American classic.
I do. I think you spelled FLUE. Can't remember.
Mm-hmm. Can you move the mouse off of the chat? Yeah, there you go.
Agree to agree there.
50 is my little on Schnitzengruben. What movie is that from?
I don't know.
Oh,
I
Spencer.
have no idea.
Oh, My Family. Blazing Saddles.
I don't like Blazing Saddles that much.
Yeah, but that's when he's eating with her.
I've seen
and
it one time.
Yeah.
It's not
But
that
come
good.
on, how do you not know?
You
Come on.
haven't seen it 30 times like
Come
you.
on.
Right. If it was like, There Will Be Blood, then I would know.
Then, yeah. I spelled Philadelphia wrong as expected. Baby, I'm not from Havana. And then she says, can you stay? And can you come back? And he says, if I can find some vitamin E. Man, he got her good. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Maybe I should watch it.
According to this
I
video,
liked it.
Jan's not there.
Oh.
I mean, he played
Goodbye,
Bishop
Jan.
F8 like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Jan's not at the board, and Bishop F8 was played forever ago. What?
Maybe he's going to the bathroom.
Like a grandmaster.
What happens if the score is equal by the 14th match? I only think they're going to play one match.
Yeah, then they have a playoff.
They're not playing 14 whole
Yeah,
matches.
Kangaroo
Jesus Christ.
quoted, Now, which two actors is he quoting there? Kangaroo. They're from Blazing Saddles.
I have no idea.
So Gene Wilder was asked by Cleavon Little, what do you like to do? And he says, play chess, screw. And then Cleavon Little said, let's play chess. Good answer. Gene Wilder was the second choice for that role. And the other guy who got the role, after one day he was out. Because it was supposed to be a drunk, which Gene Wilder played, but that guy was a drunk. So he had trouble playing the role, so they got rid of him. Then Gene Wilder flew from New York to Los Angeles overnight to start playing the role.
Benjamin
so
and
forth.
Frenjamin? Is that me? Am I Frenjamin? Because I don't think I'm Benjamin or Karen.
Yeah,
Hey,
Cleavon Little was great.
Equinoxia, how's it going?
Yeah, Gene Wilder was great. Everybody was great.
It's
Yeah.
Benjamin.
That's pretty close. Come on, Jan. Come back to the board so you can move.
What do you guys think he's doing? He's either going to the bathroom or eating.
Can you do both?
Yeah. In what movie was the guy in the bathroom and eating fried chicken while he was in the bathroom?
I don't know.
Sounds like my real life story.
It
Yeah.
sounds gross.
Let's see if anybody can get that. Let's see if anybody can get that. That's a tough one. Yeah, Gene Wilder was a great actor. That's
I'll
correct.
guess Blues Brothers.
It's close. Right decade. Maybe. Not sure if Blues Brothers was 79 or 80.
When
It
you
was
say
70s.
in the
Close
bathroom, was he standing in the bathroom or
No,
on
he
the
was
toilet?
Sitting. Yeah. And he was eating fried chicken. Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
gross.
Okay, and I'll give you one more hint.
All right.
It was a kid.
Have I seen this movie?
I don't know.
I haven't seen a lot
A
of movies.
comedy?
Yeah.
What decade?
70s.
Kid on the toilet eating fried chicken.
Yeah, Home Alone was 70s.
Yeah.
Blech.
Right.
Blech. Terrible.
It does sound like a Home Alone-esque.
Yeah, but
That was what I was
Maneuver.
thinking, but I knew it was
yeah.
the 70s.
Anyway, the correct answer is Bad News Bears.
I was actually going to guess
Right.
that. I was
And
going to guess that. We saw that first.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
said it. He
remember
said
that
it one.
scene.
Yeah, but he said it before. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that scene.
There's the kid who's the fat catcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the toilet and he's eating fried
Oh.
chicken. Yeah.
That movie's interesting to watch now because it's got some
Right,
pretty
sick.
offensive language.
Yeah. Okay, now if you want to realize how good Walter Matthau is, I said if. Okay, watch that movie, then watch the remake, and then send a letter to Madonna and say, okay, I'm not sure what's worse, your remake or that. But it's Madonna's worse. So forth. Yeah, once a month or so, you should listen to Madonna's American Pie so you can realize how horrible it is.
Yeah, in fact, I introduced Krista to that.
Yeah, what'd she say?
She said it's horrible. She couldn't believe how... And then the video is weird, too.
Yay, thank you, Tesla.
It's her, like, sexy dancing in front of an American flag. And then sometimes they show, like police and firefighters and doctors, like, just random jobs. Just standing there, like, this
Thanks,
is America.
Tesla. America.
In other countries, they don't have these
right.
jobs.
Yeah. Some rapper had to apologize to Madonna because he made fun of her. Then he's like, all right, sorry.
What?
He made fun of like how she looks or something. Like, yeah,
It's
you're
the
ugly.
last thing to make fun of.
Yeah, and then he
Make fun of
apologized.
a million other things.
Of Madonna, right? Yeah.
Recently?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how she looks these
Like
days.
La
No,
Isla Bonita.
Not good.
Not a real place.
Not
Not good.
Not
Doesn't
good.
she have like a 20-something-year-old boyfriend or something
Probably.
crazy?
Yay, 1060. That was our zip code in Brussels.
Yeah?
1060, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Chaussée de Charleroi, 53, 1060, Brussels. And then our phone number was 538 2750, right?
I wasn't listening.
538 2750. That was our phone number in Brussels.
How come it's like a normal amount of numbers? I thought it would be 100 numbers.
No, I mean, if you're in Brussels, and it's not like if you're calling from another country, then you dial 80 numbers.
It's okay.
Yeah, phone numbers are normal, but if you call another country, then
I
it's
get it.
85 numbers, right?
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to add that O2. Don't tell me what to do.
The zip code in Hastings is 1066. I was thinking of that. Yeah. Hey, it's 1080. Now people can see the stream.
Nice.
Oh, snap.
That's funny.
Yeah. Flat Sun Theorist.
Flat sun. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Yay.
Je ne comprends pas. No. Tu ne comprends rien. Okay, so as I said before the match started, nobody ever moves.
Yeah.
So they're
You're right.
Although I didn't realize
Be at the board.
I didn't realize I would never beat the board. But this clearly is the longest number of time. Well, that doesn't make sense. Where nobody's at the board. If you take all world championship matches, I think this wins for neither player's at the board during the game.
It makes sense because they also had the longest game ever, so it,
Yeah.
it goes hand in hand.
Right.
C4 is a little anti-positional since it weakens all the dark squares.
Madonna's cover is so bad, it's even hard to believe that this is the reality we live in. Yeah. Thanks, Drew Lou 56. I like the Bad News Bears remake. You're banned.
I didn't see the remake.
Did you see the original? Then you know. Yeah, Walter Matthau is a genius of the highest caliber. And so forth.
I
R.I.P.
thought he was all right.
R.I.P.
in that.
Yeah, R.I.P. And then, as you all know, that means they don't know. When The Simpsons was created, they made Homer's voice try to sound like Walter Matthau, which has been modified since then. But that's who they had in mind.
Also, Moe's voice is an Al Pacino, impression, but it's not too good. And then they're like, wow, they just used that for his voice.
Mm-hmm. Billy Bob Thornton was great in Tombstone and Sling Blade, and that's about it.
I don't remember him in Tombstone, I guess.
Yeah, he's the guy that got slapped around. He was yelling and screaming at everybody, and he says, "You're sitting in my chair."
Right.
Yeah, he's just gonna stand there.
That's right. Yeah,
He's gonna stand there and
Billy Bob
bleed.
Thornton,
Yeah. Then he takes him out by his ear. Then later he comes back with a shotgun, and then Val Kilmer says, "Johnny Tyler, where you going with that shotgun?" And he goes, "Doc, you're in town." And then at the end of their conversation, he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot you were there. You may go now." And then Kurt Russell tells him to leave the gun, and then that's the end of him. We don't see him the rest of the movie. Wasn't the movie very long?
Yeah, he is good though.
All right, so Jan's there and Magnus left. Good.
Val Kilmer was in Top Secret. Does he mean Top Gun?
I think both.
Yeah.
No, I think he was in both.
I know he meant Top Secret.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top Gun was not great. Not that I saw it.
The 887 one sent to do. I tried to watch Top Gun, but I couldn't. Hey, he played the engine move, and he's still sitting there praying, and he still played the engine move.
Prayed for the right move.
Yeah, I want to see when he. Yeah. Ah, he dropped the knight. Boo! You suck. Yeah. Then he adjusted the E pawn after he messed everything up.
Did he say adjust?
Yeah. Now Magnus, in tall-like fashion, plays G takes F6.
I'm not the target audience for Top Gun.
Spence, look at this. Are you ready? Don't look at the evaluation.
Okay.
After this, what do you think the evaluation is of
Plus
GF?
1 or so?
It was +7.
Wow.
Now it's only +4.
Right.
What? God damn. Yeah, knight H4 resigns. Queen H5, Papa John's. Yeah.
That looks bad, yeah.
Well, this is resignable. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, truth hurts. Yeah, GF not good. All right, so he played Queen takes F6. Probably people will accuse Magnus of using an engine because he played the engine move instead of the other obvious one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Karen. Oh, yeah, I can't do that. Okay.
I mean, why was the other one? What do you mean obvious? You're
That's
joking?
joking,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So you know
What?
the two knights Carol Khan.
Yes.
All right. He played H3, right? I think so.
Who did?
Tall Botvinnik.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Are you sitting down?
Yeah.
Tall played here
True.
in a world championship match.
Did he win the game?
I think they drew.
He
But-
was probably winning.
Yeah, he said Botvinnik wouldn't expect that and so
Didn't
forth.
expect that.
The engine says White's a tiny bit better.
Yeah.
What?
It's not
Yeah.
right, but yeah.
Now some people think I'm making up this that Tall wouldn't play G takes F. They think it's a tall tale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible.
No, yeah, that's a famous thing.
It's
that's all
just
there.
it's a true story. Okay, so he played Queen takes, and now he played C3.
Mm-hmm.
So he played knight here, traded, and played C3. Good.
Normal Ruy Lopez.
So now you can never play knight D4 until he does play it, and now I control D5 more because your knight's gone. Yeah, and this bishop still sucks. So White is clearly very slightly better. Just slightly. But pretty boring.
Yeah, I mean, Bishop E6. Is there a problem with that?
No, that's the number one engine
Seems like the
move.
most solid normal move.
Mm-hmm.
Develop my bishop.
You can. The engine says here or here or here, and black is okay in all of them. So solid but passive, and that's how he becomes world champion and stays there.
Right. Well, I heard on Futurama the world chess champion has to win at least one game of chess.
Right.
And Magnus did that already, so he's already qualified to become the world champion.
Mm-hmm.
And he already was the world champion.
What scene was that? You have to win at least one game of chess.
Yeah, it was. Bender was cooking, and it's the guy who's teaching
Oh,
Bender how to cook.
right. Elzar, not Elzar.
Right. I forgot his name.
I know his name.
Come on, Kangaroo. What was his name? And then he died.
I forgot his
Yeah,
name.
he's
I just saw it. I
He's
just saw the
telling
episode
Elzar,
like 2
he's
weeks
like,
ago.
Yeah, the guy died. I
It
made him a dish.
It was a coincidence.
Yeah, and by a crazy coincidence, his stomach exploded.
Yeah.
And then Elzar's like, all right, but it seems like you're the one who killed him.
Maybe so.
Maybe so.
Right. Yeah.
It did seem like that.
Yeah. He had the pure essence of flavor. That when they analyzed it, the professor
Helmut
said,
Spargel.
"Yeah, Helmut Spargel."
Yeah,
and then when they analyzed the essence of flavor, the
I have no idea what you guys are
doesn't
even
matter.
talking about.
The professor said it's just water, and then he goes, laced with a little LSD.
All right.
That was the secret of flavor.
I mean, I can't listen to all these long stories about cartoon people. So I zone out.
Listen
It
I'm
actually
not going to ever stop.
now Nerman Eater. It wasn't half the lethal dose of salt. It was like 1% less than a lethal dose. Yeah, it was closer to That's right.
It shouldn't have had second.
Yeah, Zoidberg was good there. All right, now you guys might think I'm crazy, but on the chess.com, they've analyzed like 75 moves ahead.
Yeah, they did. It's like an Endgame now.
It's the Queen versus Rook and Bishop. What?
They said they can't hear you.
What's going on?
They
here?
can't hear me.
That's what
Hello,
they said.
hello. I am far away. How about
Yeah.
now? Words.
When you say can't hear Spencer, it's one person.
What?
So
Does
I don't
anyone
wait
else
for 10
in
people.
the chat
Yeah.
have the same issue? Is what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's not a
Right.
big deal to move it a little
Yeah.
closer.
Yeah, everybody can hear Spencer. It's, you know, that,
Oh, yeah.
that guy needs to go to the
I get it,
doctor.
I get it.
He actually went to the eye doctor. Hey, let me tell you what I read on the internet. It said the doctor amputated the wrong leg.
Uh-huh.
Right? It happens sometimes,
Yeah.
not too often. Okay, no.
So
This is
do
I've
they
heard
still
it.
have to go amputate the
Yeah.
other one?
this isn't a joke.
I know.
And here's the part that sounds like a joke. It said he was fined $3,000. The doctor. Should the doctor be killed?
Right.
$3,000 fine for amputating the wrong leg? I mean, the guy should take the leg and start hitting the doctor with
That's
it.
so horrible.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's just.
Yeah, I've heard of that happening. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens occasionally.
I thought you meant
My
my
left,
left.
yeah.
That's a good one.
Right.
And then
Yeah, 3,000. I'm like, what?
the doctor said he'll be all right because they amputated his left leg. So he's all right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I guess they did amputate the other one too. I'm assuming the
I don't
original.
know.
He had to. Right?
When I read $3,000, I was like, what? Yeah.
Your friend got the wrong tooth pulled.
That's not as bad as the wrong leg
Right.
amputated.
You could take all my teeth.
Yeah,
And
it's
before
called-
that.
Right.
Two legs, but
Still, it is.
Yeah.
It's
Got to
comparable.
write it on a Sharpie before you
Yeah,
go
yeah.
under.
I've heard about the
Yeah.
wrong tooth.
Yeah, do not take this one. I definitely will do that if I need to get anything amputated now. Like, don't cut anything else off.
He didn't have a case. He didn't have a leg to stand on.
It's funny unless you're him, of course.
Right. Yeah. 2 operations, 1 for each of them. Yeah.
Tough.
Imagine being innocent on death row. Would I rather be innocent on death row or the doctor amputates
Right.
the wrong leg? I don't know.
The leg.
That's close.
I mean,
Because you could be on death row for like 20 years
Yeah.
with both your legs.
right. All
So-
your
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you don't
All
get
your
to walk
limbs.
anywhere.
No, but the good part of it was the patient in the case where he did the wrong leg, the mafia was going to break his legs, so he
Right,
got away
right.
with that one. And he got to escape that.
I think I would pick lose a leg so I could be out.
But then you have another leg that you should be.
No,
But,
no, I'm talking about the case, the scenario where I'm on death row.
Right.
Or-
But if you get the wrong leg amputated, you probably need the other one. I mean,
I didn't know
No,
that was.
no
I thought the
legs.
scenario was either get a
Oh.
leg, one leg. I didn't know.
no, the scenario was you have the wrong leg amputated.
Oh,
right.
I thought it was just.
I was
a
like,
leg.
well, now you have a bad, yeah. Yeah, the truth hurts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a patient bill for both amputations.
Yeah.
Did he get a new doctor to amputate the one that was supposed
I wouldn't
to
try
be?
When
Might
the
be
guy
taking off
co-
arms
You can't
next.
get confused.
when the guy complained to the doctor said the truth hurts.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's funny. After that happened, the guy immediately went home and threw out his favorite book because he didn't want to read it anymore. A Farewell to Arms. He was like, I don't want that to happen.
Right.
Terrible. There was a poll I saw on Twitter. Would you rather have no limbs, so no legs and no arms, or be dead? That was the poll. What do you think people voted?
Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that got more votes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw a movie about a kid who had no limbs. It was
Yeah.
called Kenny was his name. It's a documentary, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely no limbs, says
Mm-hmm.
McGurban.
I mean, it's like close between being alive with limbs.
Right.
So speaking of having limbs or not, here's what I'm hoping happens. It's not
Boxing
this,
Helena.
This isn't going to happen. So Biden resigns because he's too old. He's like, ugh, that's enough.
Right.
Then Kamala's the president, and then she tries to appoint. I don't know if they'll be passed by Congress. Tammy Duckworth, because I like Tammy Duckworth.
I like Tammy. Yeah.
Yeah. But Tammy has what? She has fake legs, right? She has
Yeah,
the
yeah.
metal legs because she got them shot off like in the
Well, a
war.
prosthetic leg.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a cool way to say it.
Yeah. Well, it's not like the leg that Jasper has. It's like a
Right,
wooden
right,
leg.
right.
It's not like that. Yeah.
It's functional.
So,
you know?
and she's like the only person I know with the metal legs who didn't shoot somebody and go to jail for no reason. And I think they're getting out. Isn't Pistorius getting out of jail? Anybody?
know.
Oh, really? I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I think he's getting paroled. Yeah.
What is this? Pastorius?
Yeah, something like that.
Pastorius. It's not
Yeah.
Astorius.
He lost them. It's a she. What? Yeah.
No, I said she.
Yeah, Blade Runner. I haven't heard about it. He killed his girlfriend. Oh, Pistorius. Is it? No, that was Pastorius. Oh, are you making it?
Pistorius might be right.
Maybe it is Pistorius.
Yeah. I thought he's getting out.
I feel like losing your arms is a million times worse than legs.
Mm-hmm.
Like losing your legs is bad
because
but
there's a way to get.
You need
can,
to use your arm. Like, you need to use your hands.
Because you can get a wheelchair.
Yeah, or like there's like
Prosthetics.
two prosthetic legs.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd rather have my arms than my
There
legs.
was actually a serial killer who actually didn't have legs. He just had arms. So he was like in a wheelchair or something. And when people kept getting killed, like it was like once every 2 weeks, the police said he was armed and dangerous.
Oh, come on, there's no tickling.
That's the kind of thing you don't get on the chess.com stream. Exactly. Yeah, on the chess.com stream, Fabi's like, if this guy has 32 bishops and you have one bishop, you're winning.
Yeah.
Crazy like me. Yeah. That you guys like. So the question isn't
Magnus
like
ever
who's better, who's worse, what'll happen. None of that matters. Question is, in the next 5 moves, will white play d4? And the answer is fries.
All right.
Because if he doesn't play d4, I don't know, move around a lot, boring.
I am wondering what black will play here. He can play some improving moves like g6, bishop g7. But he can also play b4 like in the other game.
Uh-huh.
Open up the b file.
Right, he could maneuver his knight for no reason and push his pawn somewhere, develop his bishop. There's so many choices that are similar that Magnus thinks forever because the plans are different. And Magnus is mainly thinking about not what he's going to do. He's figuring out what his opponent is going to do about what he's going to do. So he's like, is Jan going to play d4? And if Jan doesn't play d4, what's Jan going to do? And the answer is fries. The problem with moving this bishop, it's not really a problem, is white can play rook a6 and get the a file and force a reckoning for the knight. It's not clear. If I play rook a6 and you move your knight, then d4 is more easily played.
Right.
If d4 is played, should black care? Or should he literally not care? So Magnus has to think forever because this isn't his prep.
I think he'll play bishop e6. That's my guess. This doesn't seem like a huge problem. He could trade, and then after something takes, then d4, but even still, like you said, literally doesn't care.
Mm-hmm. But I think after bishop here, we have to look at rook a6, because we're going to play that before d4. Yeah, so Magnus will think for at least an hour. Maybe,
Well, we can
maybe more.
Even knight d8's fine there. I probably would do that. Because I want to trade and play knight e6, knight f4, mainly, etc.
Man, Fabi's looked at the craziest nonsense ever.
Oh, you want to trade what now? What?
I want to play white square bishop to e6.
Yeah.
And then knight d8 if he attacks my knight with rook a6. Knight back to d8, so I can trade the bishops from e6 and play knight e6. I want to maneuver knight d8 to e6.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then knight f4 and such.
Yeah, actually, one of the engine lines after bishop here, rook here was knight here.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I was...
I see.
Engine agrees.
Yeah, and that's a typical maneuver, too, when you move your queen, is to play knight d8 to e6.
There's more than one plan for black, and Magnus is like, I'm the best player in the world. I should find the best plan. So never move. But if you move your knight to e7 now, for example, then you could play c5 and get more space. Or he might just not want to move this pawn and play bishop e6, as you said, and play this and get access to here.
So you like that one, that plan better, or you're just saying?
That was the plan that I just came up with, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I would have to sit here for a long time and play inaccurately. It's a tournament game, you know.
Because I was thinking 97, but...
Yeah, they're analyzing this on Fabi's analyzing this. And then he's like, I don't know, white can go here later.
Knight g6 maybe.
Yeah. Well, the engine likes white here.
Yeah, it looks
But
a little bit better.
I think in this position, possibly knight e7 isn't the best. Although maybe.
We're trading in 97.
Could play bishop d7 and wonder why this is here.
That's
Also
too
possible.
subtle for me to play bishop e6 knight, rook
Yeah.
a6, then bishop d7.
Probably doesn't make sense to take this because white's queen here is pretty active. And if he takes and we take with the queen, you can't play queen b3, so the queen's just sort of hanging around.
Does Leela's really say that black's slightly better? Because
White. Oh.
The
You mean
Stockfish says white's better, but
Yeah. So this is funny. This is a line Fabi was talking about.
there's no way black's better. At all.
It might not have been this exact position, but he was looking at stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this pawn wasn't attacked in the line that he was looking at.
So knight e5 doesn't work.
He was
because-
looking at like this, and I don't know where the queen was.
Right.
But then he says white has this, and white has this, and white has the two bishops.
I like black.
Yeah, right.
I like black there.
So, an analyst like me, if you can call me an analyst, and the guys who actually are analysts, they always analyze nonsense, crazy, sacking everything. And then in the game, they play bishop d2, and queen c2, and queen e7, and bishop d7. But in the analysis, sack everything and see if it's fun. And the players analyze stuff like that, and then they go, no, and then they play a boring move.
Because the opening's over, Prince. That's why. Well, they're supposed to bang out the whole game. I mean, at some point they stop, right? At some point they have to play on their own. And this is that moment. Or even earlier. But yeah, it is smart to analyze the most forcing moves because you know that they're looking at that, but they usually don't allow the other side to have a lot of good forcing moves, so it doesn't really always happen. Yeah.
Do you know what song was written by the Stockfish creators? Leela,
L-E-L-A.
got me on my knees, Leela. Da-da.
No, I thought it was. That's not the right one. It's Lola that he's changing to.
Right,
Leela,
but
not
I'm
Layla.
making my own joke up. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I stole it, but yeah.
All right, you made it your own. I get it.
Leela. Yeah, because you want to say "got me on my
L-E-L-A.
knees" to make the joke work because they're saying Leela's better than Stockfish.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not.
You're going too deep into this.
No, because because the Lola song he used for Leela because he was in love with Leela.
Okay.
But I'm saying that like Stockfish is afraid of Leela, so that
Right.
got me. Yeah.
Hey,
Okay, but
Marriott
Layla
today.
also he's in love with Layla, of course.
Yeah. Right.
You know what? You know who the song's all about? Harrison's wife. George
Right.
Harrison's wife.
Yeah, I knew it was one of the Beatles' wives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Keep it down, you wacky Beatle.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah. But her name, I forgot her name. Patty, maybe? Patty.
All right. Name the only Beatle who was not on The Simpsons.
You asked me this
But he had a
before.
good excuse.
Oh, it was John Lennon.
Yeah, he had a
He's
good
dead
excuse.
already, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Lisa, I was known as the fifth Beatle. Sure, Apu, sure.
I think Nepo might change his style of play, but he also could change his hairstyle.
Ooh, that would surprise Magnus. You said you think he'll play Bishop E6?
Yeah. What do you think he'll play?
When you think this long, all bets are off.
Yeah.
He could play
Could
anything.
be anything,
He's
yeah.
analyzing every move all the way to the end. And he's like, why is this match so tough? I thought, Jan was terrible, frankly.
All right.
Da-da.
He's like, why can't I play Fedoseev for the World Championship?
Yeah.
Fedoseev is like mini Nepo. But he plays the opening weirder, yeah.
I think he will play Bishop E6. I agree. Shallow and pedantic.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to like play another normal move. He might play something weird, but
So when Fred Lindsay was like a teenager, he was playing in a tournament. He was playing an older guy, and they were in time trouble, and the guy took his teeth out
right.
and put them on the table, and Fred's like, "What's happening?" Because he he didn't know what dentures were. He's like, what's going on? Yeah, that was a good move. So doing the man bun thing. A GM, I actually don't know which GM it was. I don't remember. He said, when your opponent's in time trouble and they're thinking, you can go, ah! And he says, what are they going to do? And I was like, what? He thought that was like not illegal. To just go, ah!
Wait, who said that, Lynn?
No, this is another, it's like some GM. I don't remember which one it was.
GM.
It's like, just do that. And then what are they going to do? And I'm like,
Murder you?
I mean, if I was the arbiter, I'd have him killed. And I'd hire somebody, and then
It's against the rule. It falls under unsportsmanlike conduct.
No, you could claim like it was involuntary, like you went crazy for a second, like Ivanchuk.
Yeah.
If Ivanchuk did it, I wouldn't think he did it intentionally. If anybody else did it, then okay, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Level Sword says, "What about letting a huge fart rip?"
He took his coat off, got
That
up,
does
and then
happen.
sat back down, and then he didn't move yet. But he needed his coat off. Yeah.
I thought if it was your move, you're not allowed to leave the board.
Yeah, but he just took his coat off and sat down. So who's his favorite Russian grandmaster?
I know.
Whose favorite? What?
Magnus. 'Cause
Magnus
he took
is-
his coat off. So
Who's?
Kotov.
yeah, Alexander Kotov.
I was never gonna get
Hey,
that.
Kangaroo got it.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, Chucky gets a free pass.
Right,
yeah, that's right.
right.
The most annoying opponent I've ever played, although it's a tie, you don't know the other guy. I'll just talk about the guy who's more well known, is Jerry Hankin. He was a known, ruffian, and I played him in the National Open in round 1. He talked nonstop before the game and during the game on his move and my move. He talked nonstop, and I just left the board whenever it wasn't my move because he didn't stop talking. And at one point I was thinking about my move and he started talking and I said, like, stop. Like, I'm thinking about my move.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, R.I.P.
Well, I mean, what was wrong with him?
Insane.
What was wrong with
Now, the most famous Jerry Hankin story, by far, there's not even a second one. This is the only one. He was on the USCF executive board and he had a temper. He was a parole officer in real life. He was a big guy. He's a very big guy. He was like 6'3" and like over 300 pounds. He was mad and he stood up and went raw about something and his pants fell down. Right? And then he was censured by the board and he apologized. And then the title was Fists Up, Pants Down. Yeah.
Sounds like a cop.
Yeah. Okay, he played 97, proving us all wrong or right, which I think is
normal.
fine.
Hey,
move,
that's
too.
what I said. I get no credit.
No credit.
That's what I
Like Rodney.
said.
And no regard either.
All right.
Yeah. Ta-da. Ta-da-da-ta-da. Man, did you spell Kryman wrong? Man, terrible.
Why didn't Ian change up his opening strategy? Well, he had a good position last time he had white.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So 97, he wants to move his C pawn. He has options. He wants to play knight g6 later, and mainly etc. The number one engine move is a move you would never consider ever.
For white?
And if I tell you, you'll just leave and be like, I hate this game. Yeah,
Rook F1.
here.
Dang it. I wouldn't consider it. That makes no sense at all.
What? Yeah,
That's weird.
It runs
Exactly.
into B4, and also is like bishop on F8 can attack later
right.
too.
Yeah, then the engine said, all right, this is better, which also does
Right.
nothing. And then this is third. Yeah, Rook A7 is worse than Rook A3.
Right.
Stupid engines. Yeah.
Darn, I liked that just because I don't, never know what to do.
No, Rook A7 is good.
Rook A7.
Yeah, I like Rook
Oh,
A7.
I thought you said you didn't like it.
No, the engine
Oh.
said this isn't as good as this. I'm
That
like,
makes
stupid
sense.
engine.
Obviously,
Okay.
Rook
Yeah,
A7
where's
is
Leela?
smarter.
Got me on my knees, Leela.
Hey, another good move.
Mm-hmm.
2.
Got him.
I wonder if Archer watches this stream during school. No,
Probably
they're.
not on Saturday.
Oh, it's Saturday first of all, but they're very strict about electronics. There, so no.
Can you move the mouse?
Oh, yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, because I don't even know what's happening. Oh, there we go.
You can do it too. I can put the mouse.
I can't move.
Got you there.
Yeah, she has no refutation of that.
We call that checkmate. God, these people are, questioning Nepo's opening choice.
I like after bishop e3 c5.
What do you want him to do?
The engine's back on rook a3 there after bishop e3 c5.
Yeah.
The hell is rook a3? What's wrong with the engine?
I mean, what do you guys think Nepo should do to, get an advantage?
I don't know. I like
Ruy Lopez seems like a good choice.
I always like White's position.
Yeah, White looks
Jan's
good
white.
here.
Yeah. Go Jan.
I don't think that he didn't win the last game because of his move 3 choice.
Mm-hmm. Protects the white bishop and lets the queen move around freely. What?
Nepo should make Carlsen play rook a3 to force another doping test. Well, that would force a doping test since Carlsen is black. So if he played rook a3, it's just a move for white. It would be quite confusing, and they'd probably think he's on drugs.
Nepo should shake his fists and drop his pants. Exactly.
Yeah. That is a good move, yeah.
It would make the news.
Yeah, now Chris, the pin turn, he's correct. Yeah. It is time for another train. So, do we have a train yet?
No. But we did have a lot of rando subs.
You sure we didn't have a train?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't see it on the thing, but sometimes it doesn't refresh right.
I don't know why I thought Carlsen was white. Yeah, the truth hurts.
He
Is
did
there a
have
dress
white last time.
requirement for the players? No, they're allowed to play naked. That's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Id rook a7 a move? Yes, it is. I mean, it is.
There probably is a dress code, isn't there?
I would imagine. Yeah, they can't
US
show up in pajamas like I do.
Yeah, the U.S. Chess Championship I know has
Totally,
dress
totally.
Yeah,
code.
but they don't follow
They don't
it too
enforce
well.
it.
Yeah.
But that's just because it's St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Dun-dun-dun.
Right. What must Nepo? What would Nepo do to keep it? A lot of winning chances. It's tough.
Yeah, what happens if... That's a good question, Bonarici. What happens if they test positive for weed?
Indo had basically the same question.
Oh.
Right under it. Except,
Right, because
had
I would
more
think
emotes with
I
it.
would think that it's a player should be happy if the other guy's
No,
smoking some weed.
usually,
Yeah.
but usually drug tests, they test for specific drugs.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They don't just test and say, okay, these are the 3 drugs you have, and those are fine. That's not usually what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably have to follow the protocols of, the organization that they're kissing up to for
Right.
drug tests.
But do they test for that one?
Well, I doubt it.
I don't know.
I don't know. Big money, big one, whammy stop.
Oh, there
Yay!
it is.
It was.
Nine,
Yay!
nine,
Yay!
nine,
J88
nine.
928. We missed you.
You're the best person who ever lived.
We needed you. Hey, so I don't know. So it is banned. It's a banned substance.
And your children's children. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Interesting. You can't even take drugs that would make you worse at chess.
right, right.
Crazy. There's a doping scandal in bridge. Is that true?
Yeah, I heard about the sprinter and the weed.
All right. How dare he do a doobie?
Yeah, you're not allowed to have coffee or something.
Right. I mean, caffeine is a sad day for Indo Queen. Right there with you, Indo.
Man, you can get in trouble with Sudafed because then John Fedorowicz will sue you. So you better
Oh,
watch it.
yeah, sue
Yeah.
the Fed. Or no, that's when you sue him.
Right.
Because you sued the
I
Fed.
Sudafed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only sponsored drinks.
Do
Yeah.
you know significant difference with taking Ritalin? Or never took that. I've never
Right.
taken Ritalin, so I don't.
Oh, they were replying to a person.
Oh, I see
You can
that.
call them a person. Yeah.
I recommend taking THC for the World Chess Championship.
Maybe that's why you guys aren't playing in the World Chess Championship.
Dave Vest
Could be one of
approved.
Maybe that is Dave.
Yeah.
Dave says he plays better when he's high.
Yeah. I didn't know he did doobies.
300 cents seduced from Will B. I'm a B.
Are they out of prep already? They've been out of prep for at least 4 moves or more.
Well, the game's an hour and 15 minutes so far, so yes.
Yeah.
It seems I cannot chat.
You're right. I can't even see that. Chat.
Yeah, very good.
Why is Nepo choking on his own rage? That's just what you do when you play chess.
Wasn't there a Dutch GM who played Blitz High? That would be all of them.
Bye, Will be.
Right, I think he probably means Timon.
Yeah, but it's
But
I
all
mean,
of them.
yeah, it's all of them. Yeah.
2 beers. Yeah, we had a couple that would drink and come in and place in our tournaments.
4 more beers. 4 more beers.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Nepo, move. Bishop takes f7, the Joe Gambit.
It's funny. Shakespeare went to the pub when he was having writer's block, and he was sitting there, and there was a guy that had a beer, and he was wondering if he should have another one. So he said, 2 beers or not 2 beers? That is the question. And then he ran right home and took care of it. That's how that happened. That's a fact.
It's a widely believed fact.
A widely believed fact, right? Yeah.
Oh, hey, ZL1 Corvette. Defeating the Joe Gambit made me sad.
Yeah.
I miss Joe, and not the Joe that you all used to say. I miss
Right,
Joe
right.
about.
Yeah, I like New Joe way more.
I miss Joe.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know what school he went to.
I'm going to still
Yeah.
see those guys because I'm going to go to the senior club, wherever it meets.
Man, they're analyzing Rook E3. God damn. Because they got nothing better to do. I guess that's on the list of moves that won't be played. All right, now they've gone insane. So look at their analysis on the other stream. Now you know you're watching our stream. Ready, Spence?
Yeah. Oh, for f7?
Yeah.
Now, hold up.
Wait,
Hold up. You could play knight g5 instead of knight d4, right?
No, because, well, maybe.
Yep, yeah, I see what I mean.
I don't understand the move
They
at
want to
all.
go here and then do this.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want it even cooler than that.
The
though.
engine says D5 and C4 are better for black.
Wow.
Yeah, because you're
I like
stopping.
that.
Yeah.
But what about my move that's worse?
Knight G5?
Yeah, just because it's fun.
That's better
That's
than
better.
Knight G4.
Yes, I'm better
Yeah.
than they are.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the main line.
Right.
Bishop F5,
Yeah,
D5.
no, this- That's kind of like
See,
black
it's
now.
the-
Yeah, I like that for
yeah,
black.
The engine says equal.
Because if queen takes it was bishop f7, of course. You got to show that too. You know, on g5.
Mm-hmm. And then here, draw.
Yeah, our line's cooler than theirs.
So what would you say?
Back it up. One more. Yeah. Now queen takes bishop f7.
Yeah. It says Rook F3 and Bishop F7 are about the
But
same.
bishop f7's cooler. Come on.
Yeah, but now you get
I gave up everything for the queen. but-
And then it says King takes is way better than Pawn takes.
Yeah, because queen. Oh, I thought queen h5,
Wow.
but that's maybe okay.
Yeah, Queen H5. Yeah, the engine prefers white a little bit.
This is complicated. It's a lot of comp for the 3 pieces for a queen
Yeah.
and a pawn.
Anyway, that'll definitely happen.
If it's knight g5, I'm gonna trash talk the rest of my life.
Well, he has to
never
play.
happen.
Has to play Rook E3.
He's not even gonna do
Yeah,
that.
it's all terrible. Yeah. Also, I assume Black has moves that aren't
Go Spencer.
that aren't Rook E3. I mean, that aren't C5. Yeah, like Bishop E6.
Does Archer ever join the streams? He has before. He's just
Played
12.
Bishop E3. Yeah, he's not interested so
Guys,
much.
no, he is interested.
He might be in the chat right now for all I
He is
know.
interested and he's wanted to stream. The thing is, when he streamed before, some chat was mean to him. And then I am
That's right.
divorced.
That's the way it goes.
And I have to work with his dad on, rules and stuff. And he doesn't really want him on the stream. And,
Right.
I wasn't positive I wanted him on the stream. So
Right,
we'll
right,
just
that's
go.
fair, yeah.
So we'll just go with that.
Mhm.
But maybe when he's a little bit older. He does want to get on.
So Jan didn't play crazy Rook E3, which is fun to analyze, and played
Yeah.
Bishop E3.
Normal. Still, I'm waiting for bishop e6, but now he might play knight g6.
Right. He could also play B4,
Right,
C5,
C5, yeah.
Knight G6, Bishop E6. That's why the players never move.
I mean, he could even play like c6. Pretending like he might play d5 at some point. Just pretending.
Yeah. Well, now maybe White's ready for D4. Are you ready for this? Dun, 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 dun.
All right, I'd want to play knight g6 then, if I was concerned he's playing d4. Does Spencer's mom allow him to be on the stream? Well, Karen, am I allowed to?
Your mother. Hey, we decided after the stream when the Indian restaurant opens, we're going to eat there. So if you guys could donate, because that place ain't cheap. They open at 2 p.m. Listen to this great timing that you literally don't care about, but listen to it. 2 p.m. Indian. What time would the Georgia-Alabama game be, which is perfect for 2 p.m. Indian?
4?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say 4.
It's a 4.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's like they knew we were going to stream in the morning, then have Indian, then we could sit
They
down and
did
watch
know that.
Georgia-Alabama.
They did know all that.
Roll
Yeah.
Tide. I still believe in you, Alabama.
Mordecai, how's it going?
I do.
Does Michigan play Iowa today? And if so, at what time?
That's true. That she's had a lot of Indian food.
Where's C.L. Smith? Come on.
Yeah.
Right. He's probably
Oh,
asleep.
Michigan, Iowa's later? Wow.
Sleep.
200
Yeah.
centidues. Go the elephant.
8 p.m.
Yeah.
by somebody's telling the truth.
Yeah. No, I think Georgia's going to win by quite a bit. Probably by about 21.
Hey, are we
'Cause
in standard time? Right
I've seen Alabama play this year. There's good and there's not good. They're not good. And I've seen Georgia play. God damn. Georgia's scoring 45 points a game. So in the whole season,
Thanks, Mo.
Georgia's allowed 6.9 points a game. That's the average.
Nice.
God damn. That's some good D. The Lions allow 6.9 points before the game starts. The score is 6.9 to 0. Then they start the game.
That was the first school that Holden got accepted to.
Yay.
UGA.
200 centidues. Yeah, today Holden's taking the Putnam, so donate some more.
Go
and then he's at
Holden.
MIT and they charge us, so donate more. Yeah.
I was just so proud that he got it together enough to sign up for it.
I was thinking that too. Eye pills. Sorry.
What did he say?
6.9. Good D.
Oh.
Yeah.
A lot of sexy jokes.
9.
Yay, thank you, Garcon.
That is a funny joke. Roll Tide, what does that mean? Well, they
No
call
one knows.
Alabama the Crimson Tide. Call me Deacon Blues.
Deacon
Thanks,
Blues.
Rufus Blunder.
It's roll,
Roll
with 2
Tide,
L's,
roll.
Right? I'm pretty sure.
Yay, $5. Now I can go to the movies.
Crash Bunny. Oh, wait.
What does Karen do to a room when she enters it?
I know.
Civilizes it.
Civilize it.
Thanks,
Thank
Michigan
you,
Chess
Crash
85.
Crash. Sasha Chapin is a wise man.
Go blue. That is a good color. Not my favorite. But... So now it's Magnus's turn never to move, huh?
You know, this is a big decision because C5 or B4 or Bishop E6 are different. I mean, like the position's going to change. It's not going to be this, you know, like these moves, like
B4,
Bishop here, here, nothing's happening. But if here or here, something's happening.
Yeah, you have to anticipate D4 coming
Yeah.
up real soon, too.
Yeah. Right now, the engine likes this, which, you know, gives black some space. It says have any space. Have some space. I guess then if you play D4, C4 is annoying.
I don't know. I wouldn't play C5.
Yeah.
Oh, he played Bishop E6.
Uh-huh.
My move.
Yeah.
My move.
So Karen's move and then
Talking
your
about-
move. So my move's next.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that move, but I guess it makes sense.
You got to develop your bishop, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And his bishop's so good on B3, you might as well challenge it on that diagonal.
Hey, who won the game last night that nobody cares about? Oregon. Like they have the worst uniforms in the history of the earth. If you saw the uniforms, you'd be
The
furious.
Oregon uniforms with the green and yellow?
Utah
I kind
one.
of like that.
Man, all the uniforms were like really bright and scary. And then one of them has a scary field, like BYU maybe.
Is it the blue field? The blue field?
think- yeah.
How weird is that?
Yeah, and then
Who has the blue one?
I think that's BYU, right?
I don't know. Yeah, one of
But
them
yeah,
has a blue
Utah
field.
won easily.
Very strange. Boise. That's Boise. This chat seems to think it's Boise.
Boise State is blue.
The other people just said Boise.
Like
They don't know.
the
Boise.
field is blue.
House.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
The Smurf turf. I like that. Yeah, that's how it is. The Smurf turf.
Why is MVL talking like Hess? well, he doesn't look like MVL anymore because he shaved. So
Right.
yeah, Montana has an all red field. Why? Because in Montana they're shooting everybody and the blood of their enemies. Yeah.
Right, so they might as well just have it start red so they don't have
Which-
to keep cleaning it.
Which show is he referencing? You are so good looking.
I know.
I don't know.
Seinfeld.
Yeah, Seinfeld.
That's what you say when
Yeah,
you sneeze.
because I sneezed.
Right.
So Jerry's like, when somebody sneezes, why do you say,
God
why
bless
don't you
you,
say,
right,
like,
right.
you're so good looking? Like, so, I mean, maybe, like, what's her name suggested it. So he's
Yeah.
trying to date this girl, and another person ran into that girl's car. So Jerry pretended that he did it, and he's paying for it. Oh, no, he said that she did it, and he's paying for it anyway. So she thinks he did it. And he's like, wants to ask her out. And she's like, got with you, you scum. And then she sneezes, and he says, you're so good looking. And then she's like, thanks, and slams the door.
Blue is the best kind of food because it has more he actually says antioxidants. Does Danny DeVito.
That's actually why Trump didn't die of COVID, because he has the antioxidants.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Is that what he said?
No, but he would.
Right. He said he was positive in the negative way, or vice versa. I like that. I understood what he meant.
So the question is, if White wants to change the position here, take the bishop, play d4, or he could not change the position and play a super boring move.
Karen is so nice to Ben. I agree.
Yeah.
What about like just bishop c2?
Right.
Did you say that?
No, I didn't say it, but yeah.
Yeah. I like that. That's
Go
a
hype
typical
train. The hype
idea.
train's dying at 100%.
Never trade.
The hype train's broken.
Yeah, it's 100%.
No,
But it's
thanks,
Oh.
JAA. You said you were avoiding the train with your $99, and then yeah.
all right, you liar.
Also, it's broken.
Now
the
you'll
train.
have to donate again when there's no train.
Refresh and
Yay.
see if it's
Otherwise, you're a
less
liar.
broken. Oh, good. It's not broken if you refresh. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it already isn't broken on yours. All right.
Who knows? Twitch glitch.
Rook A7 was suggested by the gawking rabble.
Reasonable.
Yep, very reasonable. He might play that.
It's actually too reasonable. You guys should suggest more
Yeah, suggest like
ridiculous
Rook A8 and say it was a typo.
things. Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you guys
Here's what Spencer likes. After C5, the engine move is here.
Oh, that's
This
nice.
is like how a beginner plays chess. Attack the pawn, or I'll attack
Yeah.
this pawn. And also the engine plays like that.
You are forgiven, Jay.
And after C4, it says black has no problem.
He should play King B1. Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Now you're talking.
Rook A7's fine.
I like Rook A7.
Yeah, so he's either going to take
I think-
D4 or Rook A7. I
Did
don't
he
think
play
other.
D4 or no?
I don't think other. Yeah, he did play D4.
Yeah.
He didn't play C3 not to play D4. And Bishop E3. He super prepared it. I mean, that square's defended a billion, trillion. Yeah. And also, if he gets to move again, he might go here because the bishop went there and then try to play on the queen side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, white's just slightly better.
Yeah, definitely.
White has a little more space in the center. These pieces are sort of passive, etc. I have the A file, which I like. Thanks, Gazamadori and Hillmandel and Gazamadori.
No, again.
Again. I thanked him for that one, then for the earlier one, because I didn't see the other. Yeah.
They should each get 3 takebacks, so there'll be a lot more draws even. Somehow. More draws.
Darn.
Hmm?
No, I just have a lot of sinus pressure,
Yeah.
and my head's hurting because of
You know what's good for
caffeine.
that?
I don't know.
Indian food.
Oh,
I don't know about that, but
Yeah.
can't hurt.
I have some leftover Indian food upstairs. I didn't even finish the other Indian.
That's good prep for the new Indian food we're going to have. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I was going
would-
to go up and get more coffee if you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have preferred Thai food, but I'll do what you guys want.
Well, I don't think Archer likes Thai food as much.
That's true.
Yeah, we could get Thai food, but I don't think Archer
Yeah.
wants Thai food. Yeah.
Just because I just had Indian food.
I have a question. Why are they called Thai fighters? I have no idea. Roar! Family Guy. I created a Elite Chess account. It's crazy how people want to take their moves back all the time. Yeah.
What? I didn't even know that's a feature. I guess unrated.
Take back. I don't know. Probably on Elite Chess it's even rated. 'Cause
No, I'm sure not.
Thai or Indian? The answer is curry. Yeah. Come on, we're dying on level 3. Boo, boo.
Yeah, I figured you could turn the takebacks off.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like that would only be allowed on. Oh, it's rated and not rated?
Mm-hmm.
That's. I guess if somebody has a mouse slip.
Ooh,
maybe
Hanukkah Zombie.
that's what
Yeah, that
that's
is good.
for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is allowed.
They blunder their queen on move 3. Truth hurts.
Yeah.
Time for a commercial. Ooh, it's trivia.
That was fun.
Go trivia. How many games did Fabi win? Oh, snap.
Have a great game. Bye from midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the 100 Centuries Guard Soul.
Yay, it's Corblaw. Go Corblaw.
What's Corblaw doing?
He's doing the trivia, I guess. He's a master at trivia.
Oh, yeah.
He's even beaten Ken Jennings a couple times.
Yeah, wasn't he either on some game show or
Right.
the host of some game show?
Both, I think. Yeah.
Smart guy.
Yep. 100 centidues. Thank you. I like to leave the option open so I can deny every time. I got to tell you guys a funny story that reminds me of. In St. Louis, there was a guy from Chicago that would come sometimes. And he wasn't liked by most people, but he wasn't really hated. But one guy who worked at the chess club hated him. And he said, if I owned the chess club, I would offer that guy like a really good job here with a high salary and help his moving expenses. And then when he moved from Chicago to St. Louis and got all moved in and he was working here and it was all settled, then I would fire him. Because he hated him, so he wanted to like ruin his life by doing that. I was like, what?
Yay, thank you, Earth Goddess. And how's it going?
Hooray! No, it's not about Eric Rosen.
How's school been going for you, Earth Goddess?
It's just a fever dream. Yeah, the truth hurts. The St.
You're
Louis
all
Chess
graduated.
Club, the most fun place in the world. What? You're all graduated? Man, how many personalities do you have? Oh, snap. Thinking of starting a club for employees? Any advice? Yeah, do that.
Well, and also, Bozo, let me...
Also, Bozo. Hey, you don't see that too often.
Is Charlotte Chess Center, they have a corporate chess league, so it might be fun to get involved in that. I don't know much about it, but it seems kind of cool.
So there's 6 Perrier bottles next to me that are empty. There's 3 coffee mugs. There's 2 small waters, which are Karen's. There's some old salsa. There's some old chips. And there's some old strawberries. But that's it.
Yay, thank you for the 500 centidues, Texas mate.
Hey, hooray. Could I ask what move the game is on? You just did. Next question. White played 17 d4 last move, and it's move 17. And as usual, Magnus looks like he's choking on his rage. And as usual, Jan is not at the board. Jan's never at the board, even when it's his move. Even when he makes a move, he like uses the force. He's like standing really far away and the pawn moves.
That's a good question, P. Schneider. 6 Perriers, how come you never need to go to the restrooms during your stream?
Because chess is more important.
You used to go more at the chess center, maybe. Well, it does require walking
Well,
up the stairs.
when I'm doing commentary. I don't leave. No.
Well, occasionally, but yeah, rarely.
I did 6-hour commentary live in St. Louis, like with Hansen. Well, Hansen was never there, of course. And Yasser takes a break every 10 minutes. It's like it's now time for a break. They actually started calling the show The Break, and then they would take breaks from the break by analyzing the games. It was weird. Yeah. Yay, 2,200 subs. We broke 2,200. No, the periods are pretty big, actually. But this is like that's like 4 days of Perrier. It's not like I had 6 periods in one day. Now, I do have 6 periods in one day, but not like in the basement. Yeah.
Bozo, I remember that story.
I remember that.
That astronaut wore a diaper to drive across the country.
Yeah, that's right.
She wasn't going to kill her husband, though. She was going to hurt the mistress.
Yeah.
It was the mistress she was going to see. I don't even know whatever happened with that.
She was a great college basketball player. She was a diaper dandy. Yes. And so forth.
Yeah, that was a pretty unusual story.
Yeah. Yeah, Dick Vitale, he's the one who invented the diaper dandy thing.
Yeah.
Like the saying. And he was really good at basketball when he was younger because he always kept his eye on the ball. It's a joke because he only has one eye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, other eye's fake. Yeah. Keep his eye on the ball. Good, good. 64-ounce Perrier bottles. What? Frankly, ridiculous. Somebody asked where Spencer was. He's doing stuff we can't talk about, and probably he's getting me coffee, right?
Yeah, he might be tending to the dogs.
Yeah, that's what we can't talk about.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it can be talked about, I guess. Mm-hmm. Might be unseemly.
Mm-hmm. No, one ball is the cyclist, right?
Oh, yeah, Lance Armstrong.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Is accelerated dragon better than traditional dragon? No. Mm-hmm.
I can't forget that I have to leave. Do the dogs get Christmas hats? No. They would just, tear them off.
Oh, yeah. One time when we dropped the dogs off to get boarded, when we picked them up, they put like a ribbon in Glory B's hair, and you're like, take that shit off. Because you think they'll choke on it or something.
Yeah. They don't want that on there.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't, be opposed to cutesy outfits. It's just the dogs will rip them off.
The reason that Jan hasn't recaptured on D4, because he did play ED4, is he's not at the board. All three captures are about equally good, but he didn't play C3 to not take with the C pawn and get 2 pawns in the center. So he will do that. Yeah, these moves are okay, but he'll do that. Because you want to control these, the squares here. And if you play knight takes or bishop takes, then black can put a knight on E5 and put a pawn on C5. So that's, if you play C3, D4, you want to take with the C pawn.
I figured.
Yeah.
They do have Christmas stockings.
The other good thing about taking with a C pawn, other than controlling all these squares, is you open the C file for your rook if you want to play rook C1 or rook A7 and queen C2. And you make it more difficult for black to play C5 when you take with the pawn, which means this pawn can be potentially backward and or weak. Such as if we take and play D5, then we can hammer at that C pawn. For more information on the backward pawn, thank you, C. Farnsley 69.
So you think it's certain that he's going to take with the pawn?
Yeah. So after E takes D spends, it's been like 4 minutes, and Nepo hasn't come back to the board yet. Man, Nepo leaves for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So usually it's going to be C takes, but he could play knight takes, I guess.
Yeah, he'll play C takes.
Even bishop.
I have spoken.
He got some bowel issues.
One of the engine lines, which makes the game super boring, is this. And then it says white is very slightly better.
Why can't white not trade the pawns instead of trading them? No, yeah.
Oh, you mean like defend E4?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could play queen D5 or queen C2. That might even be better. Yeah,
that makes more sense.
Might be.
Why would you trade the C pawn if
well,
you couldn't?
This move looks like we're going to get hammered. So, we got hammered last night, so we have to get hammered again. Mm-hmm. So, what about here?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I hammer you again. Man, tough to defend that pawn.
I could defend it on knight D2 or bishop D2.
Knight D2, C5. Yeah, because now you're defending C5.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, now your center's all busted up.
Well, they got queenside play anyway. Even if you take, it's 2 against 1.
The engine just says this is all zeros.
Yeah, that seems right.
Harsh.
That's sufficient play for black.
Yeah. Well, Magnus wouldn't make a move that changes the nature of the game like this unless but looks like it's his move and he's choking on his rage, even though it's not his move. And Jan who knows what Jan's doing.
There are 3.
Hey, there's a dog outside.
Reasonable. Yeah, I let him out. There are 3 reasonable captures.
Hi, dogs.
Knight, bishop, or pawn could all take. I mean, you wouldn't really play queen six, but the other three are really good. Queen six is losing a piece too, I guess. To bishop b3. But any of the other captures are playable. I mean, he could play them, but I think bishop takes is the least likely.
Yeah, I would be.
C takes is the
I'd be
most
surprised
likely.
if he doesn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, that's like at least 80%, if not.
You know
more.
what's even more surprising is if he comes back to the board.
That would be shocking.
No, I mean, in a world championship match, there has to be like records every day of Jan leaving and never coming back. I've never seen that where it's somebody's.
Yeah.
And when you do see it, when somebody's away and their opponent moves, like run back to the board.
Right, because
Yeah.
they're watching it like on a TV.
Right, they're
so-
watching. Yeah, and Jan just literally doesn't care. Yeah.
Our basement is not very basementy with all those windows. That is one
Right,
thing I
right.
do like about the basement.
Yeah.
The backyard is on a slope, I guess, and so it has allowed for us to have all these windows.
We didn't
Yeah.
know what kind of slope it was, so we sent. What's your son's name?
Holden.
Holden to MIT so he could measure the slope. Yeah, if I knew his name, I would, yeah. Did I mention he's taking the Putnam today? Yeah, I did.
He says that he hasn't had much time to prepare, but he feels like that the Putnam is less hard than the USAMO, which he's already taken a couple of times, which was a 9-hour exam. I think the Putnam might be
9?
either 6 or 7.
He said 6 to
6?
me.
Okay, yeah.
He said it's in 2 parts.
Okay.
Let's see. Now my mom's at the other hospital.
Oh, no. Damn the Putnam. I tried to tell people Holden was real smart.
Seems pretty smart.
He's pretty smart.
I thought he was the smartest, but it turned out Sartre was smarter. Hurts. All right.
That's true. Stonkfish. That is true.
That's true. I can't remember my own name, but I have a lot of shirts that say "Go Ben."
Right,
so
right.
That's who I am. Yeah.
Who's pretty smart? My oldest son. I mean, both my kids are smart. Obviously, I love my kids, but I mean, even Archer would have to admit, yeah, Holden is just an unusual person.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Jimmy Carter's smarter, probably. Jimmy Carter's smart in a lot of different
That's just
areas.
it just rhymes.
Oh,
That's why he
Also
thought it
true.
was.
but it's probably true.
He and MIT, you say? He
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a freshman there.
Oh, he did take with the pawn
He
as
wasn't even
expected.
at the board yet. Yeah.
All right, telekinesis. That's how strong he is.
I'm guessing this game is not going to go 7 hours and 45 minutes.
Might.
No, I think this game is going to be over before 10:30 a.m. our time.
Wow.
Yeah. There's just too much training.
That's what I was about to say. All the material's leaving.
Yeah.
So I don't.
I
Magnus.
could still play it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Magnus is going to draw this.
It's an asymmetrical structure.
So the engine suggests this. If he plays it, they'll have to test to see if he has an engine on him. Yeah, it turned out yesterday, nobody complained because Jan lost. They found an engine in his man bun, and then it fell out at the end game, so he just got crushed. But they said don't do that anymore. And he said it was planted. He said he didn't do it.
Right,
All
right,
of that
it's
stuff
being
happened.
framed.
All that stuff happened. Yeah,
What if-
Magnus literally doesn't care.
Okay, Magnus has black in this game.
Yeah,
so
Magnus took on d4, took on b3, threatened e4, and
means C2 would be a huge.
and he's like,
monster.
whatever.
All right.
Yeah, and he wants to go here because the bishop on f8 is defending, and then black has all kinds of play. Rook is good, queen's okay, knight's good, c5 gives play. And if you said, what's white going to do to attack black? I don't know, they traded a lot of stuff, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, after c5, d5, it seems like a really good Benoni for black.
Well, it's what is it? White's
Yeah,
turn.
it is.
So
Well,
D5 now.
well,
Oh, but the pawn's hanging.
Yeah, that's why I played knight
Yeah.
g6. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean, like,
Yeah,
the engine's just like, all right, draw. Yeah, even says all right, draw.
The position's too nice in that position to call it a Benoni. I mean, come on.
Yeah, here's one of the engine lines also. And then it says draw.
Yeah, he can put it in his lipstick like Anna.
I mean, yeah,
right?
black's position is solid and great. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
agree.
think Magnus defused what white was doing. like pretty easily.
Yeah, I don't really know what Jan did wrong. Maybe bishop e3 d4 wasn't the most testing, but
Probably did nothing wrong. It's just that chess is a draw.
yeah, but it's too easy. I think it's
This
move 20, not even.
This did seem like Magnus is
Doesn't have a lot of problems.
just equal here. That line that I showed you, which was obviously equal, that's the engine line.
Right,
now.
right. Yeah, I wanted to
And
avoid that.
see, that's why now trying to learn's very happy because he's like, well, yeah, Leela said black was better. So.
Right. Mm-hmm. Now it says drof.
LC0 says draw. Yeah, I agree with that. Go Leela.
Leela.
Yeah.
Leela.
Like yeah, this is the engine line, which is weird to play rook c1 and give up your e pawn, as you pointed out. It wants to go here, which I understand, because you're controlling all the white squares. You defend this again. You defend d5. You defend your rook. Yeah, you defend d7. You defend c8. The queen's just better here.
Queen's awesome.
And then if black wants
Oh, right
to,
square.
he could play knight e7 to d5, knight f4, bishop e7 to f6. And the engine doesn't even think white's better here. It seems to me if I go here, I'm better.
Why would white be better here?
Right. If I
the
do
rook's
this,
pretty good, I
if I
guess.
do that, I like black's position.
Not that big a deal.
Then double rooks on the e file. Yeah.
Well, when do you think would be a good time for Ian to go crazy? Well, I mean, he's gonna play as solid as possible, generally. It's only what is this game 7?
Yeah.
So they're halfway there, living on.
Yeah. This is a 14 game match, not 12
It's got
games.
time,
Yeah.
Game 10, even game 10 would be a little early. I mean, I don't think he's ever gonna go like really crazy.
Why you'd ever go crazy? You just play.
Yeah, he'll just play. But if it's his last white, he'll play very aggressively, I think. Yeah.
No, Magnus will be happy to draw this game. He's black. He was slightly worse, and the game yesterday was 7 hours and 45 minutes. The game ended after midnight. Eric Clapton said they should let it all hang out, so forth. So yeah, then he has white possibly the next 2 games, maybe what the rules are.
I made that joke yesterday.
Which one?
The Eric Clapton joke.
Oh, good.
Got ignored. And then repurposed.
You don't even hear my jokes because you're like, what? I wasn't listening. Yeah, Magnus did a good job diffusing White's small advantage, which he's good at doing.
Yeah.
It's weird because a lot of times in slow chess, when Magnus is playing a weaker player, which, Jan isn't.
Nah,
Well,
but-
I'm not talking about Jan. I'm talking about, like me.
Because everybody's weaker.
Right.
Like,
Then, like somebody, not me, but better than me, but, still way weaker than
2650.
Magnus. Yeah.
let's say.
Then with Black, he wants to win.
Yeah.
And he's not like, I'll play a solid opening, I'll trade everything and draw. He's not trying to draw when he plays a 26-30 FIDE, with Black. And so it's hard to remember like slow games where Magnus obviously is very happy with a draw with Black.
Yeah.
Maybe he's happy, but here he's just ecstatic. He's like, if I draw with Black the rest of the match, I'm going to win the match.
Oh, yeah.
So if it's an easy draw, it's just like, great. He doesn't have to play very hard with Black, and then he can press with White. So Magnus isn't going to be pressing this game because if Magnus loses, he'll be furious with himself that he had such an easy, solid position and he went nuts. And even though the players are in good physical shape, you don't want to play a 5.5 hour game after you played a 7 hour. You need a little rest.
Exhausting.
But sure, if he gets some advantage, he'll press it like he did yesterday.
But yeah, this is just too boring, I think, for either player to win.
I'm going to step out now so you can step up.
All right.
Oh, you got to go to the thing.
Yeah, we're going to get flu shots. So
right.
I don't usually get one, but since I'm taking Archer, I might as well get mine
That's
too.
why I say, hey, man, nice shot.
Right.
So see you guys in a little bit. I'll probably be back,
You got
hour.
it. You can back it up.
Who knows?
All right, musical chairs.
Oh yeah, my glasses.
Oh, musical glasses.
All right, see you guys.
Hi, Karen.
Pads, see you. And so forth.
Oh, yeah. I do love this chair more.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
What's this chair?
I don't really notice until I'm starting to sit in it, and I'm like, oh, it's way better.
I think the game will be over before
She
we
comes back?
Get back. Yeah.
Then where are we gonna get breakfast?
Exactly.
Oh no, the chimney. Oh no, my chimney.
Mm-hmm. You love Pad CU. Well, you should. Just ordered kebab.
I like to pronounce it kebab.
All right. Mm-hmm.
He's still not gonna move, huh? Come on. Does he have a cool move to play, like E5 or nah? It's protected a lot.
Every move is super boring.
Rook A7 is the same as Rook C1 at best.
This position's so boring. Fabi's like, let's go back and look at knight takes D4.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's like, all right, what if he took with the knight? Let's look at that. Yeah.
But I said it was playable there.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody laughed at me.
Yeah, especially me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, tie's good. It's like when Quagmire had that black tie event. It was all black and ties, chicks.
Yeah.
Why are they thinking so much? They should bang out some moves.
That's right.
No wonder Magnus wants to draw and just get to the blitz, huh?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Most hoping humanity. Man, harsh.
It is tough. Yeah, and he didn't even play it, knight takes. So.
Yeah, this seems like white has plenty and nothing, but nothing's plenty for him, except it's not.
I don't think Carlsen has won with black in a world championship match since Anand. The first match. He didn't win in the second match with black against Anand? Because, yeah, he beat Karyakin with white, and then he drew all the other games with Fabi. So, but Magnus has never lost with white, right? Because he lost to Karyakin and Anand with black.
I don't think he's lost with white.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
I mean, those are the only two games he lost.
I remember one.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Karyakin won with black? I thought Karyakin won with white and then Magnus won with white the next game.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But maybe they I don't think they both won with black, right? Is that really what happened?
400 centidues.
Oh, hey,
No, he's saying
Patient
Carlsen won a rapid game with black.
Oh, yeah,
So he's
yeah.
saying Carlsen won, or Karyakin won with black, and Magnus beat him when he was white. So the white won, won
Game
with black.
98. Oh, game 8. I thought Karyakin won with white and then Magnus won with white the next game, but didn't Magnus win the next game? So he must have won with.
Unless they did the double thing.
Oh yeah, that's
That'd be
especially
funny.
because it's game 8, like he said. So
Yeah.
I'm getting it confused there. Huh?
Yeah, we're putting it together from sugar packets.
Right,
but
right.
It's not working out too well. Yeah.
It's tough. There's a lot of world championships. It's years ago. It's hard to remember. Games 8 and 10. So there was one in between. That's what I was getting confused about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's all hearsay and conjecture.
There are kinds
at
of
this
evidence.
point. There's
Yeah.
kinds of evidence. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, but I believe it now. At game 8 and 10, yeah. That's all I needed to hear from Sonia. That's all you had to say. All right, but what's going to be the move?
All the moves lead
has to
to
be Rook C1
equality.
there.
Yeah, he trying to learn said
All right, Queen
Leela wanted
C2.
to
That's
go
what I
here.
wanted. But then we looked at Queen E7, C5. And
Yeah.
Queen E7 and Black plays C5 later.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Leela likes Rook A, C1 again, but that's too boring. He won't want to do that unless he's given up.
One thing he could do to make it interesting is in this position. I'm not saying Magnus will play Queen F5, but if he does, then we could go here and try to double up on the bubble up. Which,
Impotent.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
Rook E7, yeah.
Yeah.
You can even play like any move and then Rook E7 next.
also true.
Like Knight F4 or something.
Yeah, I mean, this you don't need an engine for this. It's just
Right.
It's just a draw.
Yeah, it's
boring.
solid, yeah.
Yeah, you could see positions where black is better if his knight gets to D5.
Yeah.
Because these pieces aren't so good.
I mean, most like people who have studied chess, we see a lot of Spanishes, and you can like compare this position to them, and it's just very comfortable for black.
Yeah, and you don't want with white to give up this pawn for this pawn.
No way.
That's not your goal. And if the engine says that's the best, that's not good. The other problem is, if he plays too much for a win, then Magnus could be better if he can get his queenside going.
Right.
And this is weak, and then now he can come here, and I'm not sure what White's doing. I'm not sure what White's plan is. So it's hard for White to try to win without making his position a little worse.
Level 20 sword makes a good point. Why not rook e to c1 if you want to do the same idea?
Rook e to c1. That's crazy. Oh, yeah.
Now it plays c5 off the jump here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if in this position, if you had played c5, take bishop takes, and the rook on e1 defends the pawn. Yep. Yeah, but now the pawn's not defended indirectly.
Yeah.
No.
So c5 now just trades it all.
Yeah.
You can just trade and then take that one. Yeah.
The engine offers itself a draw.
Always play bishop f8, and then knight on f8. He can't even get mated for the rest of the game now. So Black will never lose. Obviously, no hope here for a serious winning chance.
One of the engine lines. Yeah.
All right, this is like Yuri's favorite position, except it's Rajabov's favorite. So he must have made that move because we didn't look at that.
Let's refresh.
Yeah, I mean rook a5 looks okay if that was played, but no, maybe not. It also was maybe rook a7 and it's a slide, right? Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any move.
But yeah. Well, it played a move that we didn't even look at.
Yeah, we didn't look at rook a5.
Weird.
Right.
Maybe it wants that move.
Oh no, we did look at rook a5.
Oh,
we looked at this and then rook double up on the e file.
I wasn't here for that. I guess. Yeah, I wasn't here for that.
This is no advantage for White. No.
Well, Nepo could bounce back, but it seems like this is Magnus being comfortable. Yeah. I mean, you can always make a mistake though, so it's not like the game's a dead draw already. They'd agree to a draw then if it was dead. But yeah, most likely by far is a draw now.
Yeah, so I was making a point before, and then I sort of trailed off about Magnus usually isn't playing for a draw with Black.
Yeah.
But he doesn't mind a draw against people around his rating. But I mean, in a match, if you can just take White's advantage away, and Black is always equal or fine, then he doesn't mind that because he probably figures in a world championship match, if he plays 7 games with White and gets a minus score, maybe he doesn't deserve to be the world champion. So since he's never lost with White, or he lost 1 game out of 70, then he's pretty confident that since he's up a point, if he draws with Black the next 2 or 3 games, he's just going to win the match. So he's not, and he's pretty practical about that. If he can win the match with any score, he wins the match.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'd do.
Yeah, he's not like I want to win by 4 points.
Totally. I'm all about who cares about that kind of
base?
stuff. Yeah. Just win the match, go home. That's the problem. I don't need to dominate the opponent. Who cares? Give me the money.
Anyway, he achieved his goal. He won a game, so he was hoping he'd win a game eventually.
Yeah.
And he did. Just took a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, this bishop's going to come to fruition if what Black and White plays c5. Then that bishop's doing a good job. Then we get some actual space here. Yeah, if this is the best White has, then that's not how you win.
It's understandable, Daster. Yeah.
And obviously, Jan's not very comfortable because he's going into the tank.
Right. It's like Free Willy.
Yeah. Man, spelled square without a U. Boo.
Squire.
Hey, he's doing the Gelfand pawn twirling, but not as good as Gelfand.
All right, Gelfand's Olympic level there.
Jan's doing... Now, what Jan's doing...
Tell me what Jan's doing.
Is like, how you twirl a pawn? He has his arm across like this, he's twirling a pawn. I would never do that.
Right.
That seems hard.
I'm usually under the table.
No, but like here, he's like arms on the table.
Right,
I just can't do that. That's why I'm not playing the world championship.
That's like the chess version of when poker players do the coin in between their fingies and stuff. And stuff. Or no, wait, no. What about the one when they're like shuffling the chips? That's one that they do.
So when I played poker, at the Venetian, there was a guy there who had a mountain of chips, and he said he was a pro. He's young. He just plays poker, and he was a chess player too. He was like, yeah, it's easier to beat 8 random people than people in tournaments who play.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway,
That's true.
he stacked his chips in a way I never saw, and it'd be like really hard to do unless you practiced it a lot. So the chips were looked like they were ready to be pushed together. They were
Right,
like
right.
this,
I understand.
this, and his stacks were like that.
Yeah.
So like one stack looked like 2 stacks.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful the way he had it. It was really, I never saw that. It was
He's
really
a true
nicely
pro.
arranged. Yeah. It was just fun looking at his chip stack because it was like a design.
Oh, you did break 2,200 subs.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, he had
Nice.
2206 when I looked.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry we're not analyzing much, but I
do you want?
mean,
Yeah,
this is just, black is completely fine. This pawn's weak, c5 is coming, everything's good. And, the d4 was diffused very nicely by black taking everything and saying, now this pawn's weak.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I played a game in 2000, what year was it? I don't know what year it was. I'll say 2005, that I'm within 5 years. With Varakobian, and I needed to draw to get my first GM norm. It was an 11-round tournament, round robin, but it would be after round 9. If I had a GM norm, I can't lose the norm.
Karen.
So, anyway, so I did draw, and then I won the next game against Chow, giving me a 10-round norm, and I drew Jesse Cry in the last round without really playing. 11-round norm. But anyway, when I played VAR, we had an exchange Slav because he likes to play that with white. And at some point in the game, he moved one of his center pawns, and that weakened them, like here. And then I was like slightly better. So we agreed to a draw because I was better finally. And this reminds me of that because if we go back to before d4, right? This
No problem.
yeah. So like as Bobby Fischer said,
Gotta give squares to get squares.
Right, not crazy, Holocaust stuff, but yeah, you got to give squares to get squares. So when you play d4 and this in any similar position where you're moving a pawn, your pawn isn't defending whatever it was defending. Whether that's important or not is up, to the players to decide. So the e pawn has been defended since move 11 when white played d3. And he played rook e1 defending it again, and then he played bishop d3, bishop e3 undefending with the rook. Now he plays d4 undefending with the pawn. So this was protected twice, and now it's protected 0 times.
Not as much.
And you guys are like, yeah, it's not protected, but it can't be attacked. That's why Magnus tried to figure out a way to punish d4
Which he did.
by attacking this, and he did. He did this.
And rook EC1 was played.
Yeah, and so this is attacked, and we can attack it again, and this bishop obviously can't defend it. It can move out of the way to a more passive square. But, I mean, if a rook is attacking a pawn and a rook is defending a pawn, then, that rook's better. Okay.
Yeah.
So he did play rook c1, and then Magnus very quickly
Banged it out.
played c5, which is the correct move.
We already figured this out.
And this is going to be a very quick draw because I don't think he wants to allow c4 or
It'll trade all the stuff.
Yeah. Now, if he wants to make it interesting, it actually doesn't make it interesting.
E5.
Like this looks
Yep.
interesting, but I just moved my queen, and we still just trade everything. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And there's a very important Zwischenzug here. Now, in this position, if we play the normal move, then we get this boring draw, and then just dead draw, the deadest of dead.
Right.
Okay. And the Zwischenzug, which is important, which Spencer will he'll be like, ooh, I like that. Watch how he likes it. After this, c4.
I do like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That's an important Zwischenzug. And now
Black's
actually,
better. Yeah, black's better.
black is much
totally,
better.
Totally. Bishop takes d6, knight f4, all that stuff.
Yeah, and isolated pawns.
2 against
yeah.
1, yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like e5 is like, haha, it's complicated.
Gotcha.
Right? If you take this, I take that. But after here, white's center is falling apart.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be traded. It's a dead draw. This is the engine line, and it's a dead draw. You have to take on c5, otherwise you could be down a pawn. And the 2-1 is good for black.
We don't really have, favorite clothing or jewelry for a chess game. I mean, we're not superstitious at all, really. I mean, I'm almost.
What's funny is if you want to
100%
avoid
sure.
trading knights by moving your knight, then
Yeah.
knight f3
Oh,
and
snap.
queen takes rook. So you have to.
Yeah,
So
do it.
the other move that's legal, other than these two, which doesn't
C3?
lose, is king h1.
Pinning
Yeah,
the knight. Yeah,
That's
that's
still-
good. Yeah,
then
I would
queen
do
f4, draw green.
that. Right.
Yeah.
But then you can move the knight maybe, but okay, f2 is weak. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great on e5.
Yeah.
So the only way for Jan to play for a win here is to play badly and get a worse position, which I don't.
Oh,
think is
that's a
gonna
good
happen.
question. Could Esserman draw from here?
No,
That is a good question. though.
Neither color. No.
He could.
No.
He could.
No.
I mean, what about when it's like if all the stuff gets traded in the next 2 or 3 moves there?
Maybe.
Right. I think he has some chance to draw it. He was telling the story about he played not Wojtachik, Vojkovic. Vojkovic. And
R.I.P.
R.I.P. And he was talking about how it was a King's Indian, and it's like G3 King's Indian, of course, because it's Vojkovic. And then eventually, like, he just got squeezed and crushed and lost. And he's like, and he was analyzing post-mortem with Vojkovic, and Esterman's like, yeah, but I thought, like, this is pretty good because the 1953 Zurich games. And he's like, and Vojkovic just looked at me like, what are you talking about 1953 for? And I was like, that's what I was thinking. What is he talking about that for?
Right. The tournament where the King's Indian was semi-invented.
Right.
Like, because they were, like, reinventing theory then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is a good tournament, and it is cool, like, that they played that and stuff, but, I mean, I'd probably study the next 50 years after that and then talk about those games,
And C5 was played pretty quickly by Magnus, because it's just, either black's better or they trade everything and it's a draw.
Oh, yeah, he figured out what we were talking about with the chat, with that rook EC1. Makes sense if he wants to double the rooks, but now we could play C5 immediately.
Right.
So he just figured it out and was confident it was correct. It's not like the engine really prefers either rook move, Ray. Just that, they're both should be about equal. So, the engine will say one's 0.1 and the other one's equal. Yeah, it's about the same. 0.2. Why is it called King's Indian? That's a good question. Well, chess was invented in India, and when chess was invented or created, the pawn can only move one square. So we pay homage to that by calling openings, like, for example, the Nimzo Indian, where black only moves the pawn one square, and the King's Indian's on the king side. So that's why it's King's Indian. QED.
Yeah, this is, Jan has to decide whether to draw the game now or do something where he doesn't have any advantage and or is worse.
Right. Yeah, you're right that it's going to draw.
I think the only move that doesn't draw, like, right away is queen d5, defending this. But then, knight e7, the queen moves, and I think I could just go back. You don't have to go back. You can play c4 and play for a win. But, yeah, nothing is... It's just a drawn position.
I mean, d4 and knight f6 isn't yet an opening. Right? You gotta keep playing some moves before I tell you what opening
Strongfish
it
don't
is.
have honey. That's not vegan. Boo, boo.
Well, maybe it's vegan honey, so
Yeah, but,
they used, robotic bees to make it or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. And so forth. All right, somebody donate 90 subs so we get to 2,300. Hooray. It'll be like I'm 15 again, trying to get to 2,300. Hooray for Ben.
Can you call Karen honey if you're vegan? Right.
I can call her honey, but she can't call me honey, or vice
right.
versa. I don't know. Whichever's funnier. Yeah.
Sorry, bees. I hate you, bees. I hate you, bees.
That's what I was thinking. Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of
She can
true.
call you AI. Well, we were analyzing and playing a little, and she got mad, and she called me AI, and I said, it's just practice. It's practice. 12 minutes for Jan. What? Jan has like 1,000 hours left.
Yeah, it's 60 minutes. It says he has 51 minutes.
Yeah. Maybe he's dyslexic, and he's...
Right, the one and the 2 is backward. Right. I got it. Mm-hmm. Oh, Al. Mm-hmm. It's an Al Bundy.
Oh, Al. She can call me Al. Poor internet connection. Also bad.
Oh. That makes sense.
The more you donate, the better your internet connection is.
Oh, they got How You Fawn again up on there.
Oh, yeah, she's been there forever. She's laughing at Danny.
Every day they're calling her up.
Yeah.
I guess it's like the strongest female player and the strongest male player. Mm-hmm. Who's not playing in this.
And also Judah Polgar is doing commentary.
Right, but she's retired. Mm-hmm. Although How You Fawn doesn't play much either.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a move. It was E5.
Yeah, that's the most equal.
Right.
Queen F5 draw. Yeah.
But it's the most pretending he's trying to win still, too.
So if Magnus wants to win, which is reasonable, then the game's going to go forever. He could take this, and then do something like E4. Now, I don't think he'll do that because I like that. So if Magnus had to win, he would do that, but that seems silly to me.
Yeah, Judith was, I think, number 8 in the world at her peak.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
So,
7, maybe.
Yeah, just moving the queen somewhere just means we're going to draw pretty quickly because these are all going to get traded and frankly ridiculous. Yeah.
But if you play DE, then DC.
Then the game will be interesting,
the game will continue.
And I think if Magnus was in a must-win, he would definitely do that and probably be worse. But, then pawn's strong. Then black would try to attack, but it's trying is the first step to failure. So even though the engine says this is fine, the engine's wrong. It's just good for white.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Engine's frankly terrible. So, he's going to play queen here. They're going to trade all of these off, and they're going to draw in the next 5 moves or so. They'll just agree to a draw because there's no point. Yeah, I have spoken.
Oh, she was number 8, according to this person, quote.
Yeah, well, we knew she was number 8 because the Beatles explained that to us. Number 9.
I thought because 8 was enough.
Number 9. Right. Yeah. Number 8. Number 8.
That was a good one.
That was. Mm-hmm. GE is a Delaware move. Boo.
Makes sense.
Boo. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Magnus will definitely move the queen, yeah?
Right. I just don't know if he'll play queen d8 or queen f5 because it's exactly the same.
I mean, queen d8 is kind of weird, though. Queen f5's on a white square. But I like white squares.
Yeah, nobody was at the board.
Because there's no white square bishop.
Magnus still isn't it? Oh, there's Magnus. They're showing a video from before, the game started.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both at the board. That's crazy. Jan's in a drawn position physically. He's sitting like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Agreed. Okay, this game's over. Yeah. Yeah, both players know better than we do that it's going to be drawn soon. Then in the press conference, they can say, 7 hours and 45 minutes yesterday. We needed a break today. Give me a break.
Yeah, that's right, Kangaroo. A single plum in, I think it was, she said, swimming in Cologne or something.
Right, in a hat.
And served in a man's hat.
Right, in a man's hat.
Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah.
It was
is
something like
Ifan
that,
stronger than Peak Polgar?
No.
She is, except for one thing.
No.
Yeah, Peak Polgar is way better than Ifan. God damn.
Yeah,
it's 100 points.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, not at least, but yeah. Ifan was 2690.
Well, okay, but you have to take inflation into account.
I did. Yeah. No,
it said she was 2750 or so, right? I don't know.
Yeah. No, Ifan was never
about
top 10, top 20, top 30, top 40, top
2735.
Yeah. No, I mean, Ifan's maybe she was between 100 and 150 in the world.
Right.
Judith was top 10. Yeah.
But yeah, Yufan's no joke.
Yifan crushed Judith like at the end of Judith's career in either Gibraltar or Isle of Man, because that's the same tournament to me. I don't know which is which.
Yeah.
And Yifan crushed Judith Polgar. That was like Yifan at her peak, and Polgar was retiring. And Polgar was still a better player, but sometimes
Yeah,
you lose.
Yufan's stronger than Susan, peak Susan. Yeah.
Yeah, Susan's like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Susan was world champion in classical, rapid, and blitz.
Yeah. No, peak Polgar's peak. Yeah. Peak Susan Polgar. That's like saying peak like Spencer.
Right.
That's, yeah.
Well, except for one thing. But
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah.
Have I played either Polgar sisters? No, and there's 3 of them. Is that correct?
You've played all of them, right?
I've never played Susan, and I've played Judith many times, and I played Sophia once
least
in
once,
slow
yeah.
chess, and I played her in a blitz tournament in Beale.
Yufan's peak was 55, which she couldn't
That's
drive.
shocking.
pretty high, but-
Garachkina will get to 2,700.
Garachkina's
Yeah,
super
Garachkina's
strong.
great. Yeah. Yeah, in my opinion, when it's all said and done, Judith's the greatest female ever, and Garachkina's going to be second.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
So, time for the draw.
Yep. Yeah.
And then he has to take this because
He
it's,
did.
it's just a draw. They're just going to agree to a draw.
McJurgle. I noticed that your McJurgle. You've capitalized some letters in your name recently. Couldn't help but notice that.
I think this is more drawn than this because after this we can play knight to d4.
No, but if you play bishop takes, rook takes.
Knight takes. We just looked at that.
Yeah,
And,
that's
King
right,
h1
that's
was the
right,
one to
yeah.
try to win.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I think he'll play bishop takes because after knight takes, knight d4, it's equal, but it's not as drawn as this, and drawing with black without any problem at all. This requires some calculation, though. Takes here, because you're pinning your own knight.
Yeah.
And, for Magnus, that's not a tough calculation.
No.
And this is also completely drawn. In fact, Nepo might not try to win with this and just trade everything. But probably he would try to win because, he's white and down a point.
Yeah, but he might think this isn't the time.
And then Magnus will go crazy and play knight f4. Rawr, pawn sacrifice with no attack. Also possible, but not really.
Yeah, except for one thing, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, you fancy, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's let them draw and go to bed. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, pretty good game. The greatest game in right now the engine says black played 99.2 and white played 98.8. Obviously that's nonsense, except they always play better than 98. So I guess they're pretty good.
Right. I mean, they haven't made any mistake at all this game. So.
Terrible. The game's still going, Indo.
Yeah.
And I don't believe you were cooking dinner, but yeah. I mean, if your microwave's not working, then TV.
Right. Is that what she means?
Yeah, but
Ordering on
yeah,
DoorDash.
yeah, Taco Bell, whatever. Oh yeah. The game will be a draw. Yeah, LC0 does like knight f4. Yeah, he's not going to play knight f4.
No way. Yeah.
Yeah. Frankly, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, LC0. Throw that in the garbage.
Right.
Yeah.
What did I do here? Oh no. I don't even know what happened. It's these side buttons messed me up,
Yeah. It's a
Here's
Mac.
the things that Karen was talking about.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. They are on a different side. Oh, and now they're gone.
When you enlarged it, yeah.
So I can see why Karen was confused there. Anyways, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
It's okay, Tommy. We'll get the stream back. Okay, there we go. Oh, Indo's claiming she made fresh burgers. That sounds nice. It's been a while since I made
I
burgers.
assume they're vegan burgers.
Blah.
Reheating McDoubles doesn't get McDoubles. It's like autocorrect for McDonald's. It's funny.
No, maybe he did mean McDoubles.
Yeah.
That's a sandwich at McDonald's.
Is it?
Yeah.
Queen and pawn yesterday. What? I don't understand the question. I can't get to
They
sleep.
meant when he had a queen and a pawn, and Magnus had rook, knight, and 3 pawns.
Yeah, it was drawn until.
But I knew he'd win.
Until
I
move
knew
100
he'd win
and
it,
something.
yeah.
He played queen e6, losing. Yeah. Yeah. Jan had a lot of winning chances that game, as did Magnus. And then when it was a table-based draw, it was really hard for Black to draw that, so he didn't.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, if he had an hour, he'd have a chance, but not much.
Yeah. Dang, I'm sorry. Chess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12.
And McDonald's breakfast was awful. Yeah.
I like McDonald's breakfast. I mean, the hash browns should be illegal. Really, they're so good.
Yeah.
You got it, Stonkfish. Magnus should play f6 for the fans. That would be a good move.
Yeah.
Would he say check after?
Yeah. Then g4. Oh, g4 doesn't win the queen
Because
it's
queen e6.
Knight d4 wins the queen.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Is that and what else wins the queen? That's it. After f6. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
Oh man, when I tell you this, you're gonna like cry probably. Are you ready?
Okay,
Oh my god, I can't believe I found this.
I'm ready.
Oh, my move doesn't threaten the queen. It just stops the queen from blocking. Bishop e7.
All
I
right.
forgot I wasn't threatening the queen. I thought, I stopped queen e6.
I know. I was
I'm a
thinking of moves
genius.
like rook a6. Even you could.
Yeah, I'm a genius, but then I'm like, oh, the
rook
queen's not
a6
attacked.
check. Yeah.
So if I attack the queen, queen e6. So that's knight e4 is the only move after f6. Now, here's what a 2100 player in Michigan said to me when I was a kid, although I was also 2100. He said, if your opponent makes an illegal move in a slow game, okay, then you play a move that's checkmate, then you win. They can't say, wait, my move was illegal because you won. That's wrong, but I like that. So here's what I mean. Like,
Made on the board.
right. The guy plays f6, putting himself in check, and then you make a move that the board positions checkmate, which you can't do here, but you can imagine.
Well, it's easy to do. It's the scholar's mate, and after queen h5, they play f6.
right, and you
And
play
the
queen f7 mate.
I do that all the time.
Right, and
Yeah.
then he said like the guy can't say anything after that, and I'm like, all right.
I have not tried Wendy's breakfast, but I do like Wendy's.
Trying is the first step to failure.
Yeah.
There's some football player, I think, who does Wendy's commercial for their breakfast.
Well, also on Rick and Morty, they have commercial cartoons for it.
Right. So here's what's weird about all these commercials, and they know that they're kidding, but it's still pretty insulting, is these people who are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, they're like, or even tens of millions, they're like, man, I go to Subway and I go to Wendy's and I
Right.
get State
For
Farm
cheap.
because I got to
Yeah,
save
yeah.
money on my car insurance.
Right.
And my food, and I'm like, you're
Nice
worth
fan.
$400 million. What? You don't
Right.
even know what it
Yeah,
costs.
It's patronizing.
Yeah, come on.
It's like, hey, you poor people, don't you want to be like me,
Yeah,
a
it's-
wealthy bastard?
Yeah.
You know? Hey, come on.
Man, Aaron Rodgers and what's his name? Patrick Mahomes are very concerned with their car insurance costs.
I'm sure.
Very concerned.
Not as concerned about getting vaccinated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so forth. Trying to learn is correct. Yeah. Man, Trump spelled wrong. Every word spelled
Well,
wrong.
he did it on purpose because it might be banned, right?
Mhm. And his children's
Right.
children.
So that was on purpose.
Magnus is like, I can play for a win with that, but I won't because it's terrible. And then Leela says it's fine. And then this draws and this draws. Which one's the easiest draw? And the answer is fries. And so forth.
Mainly and so forth.
Yeah. Somebody on Twitter who I don't know tweeted, Joe Rogan has saved more lives than Fauci.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, Joe Rogan saved 0 lives, so he saved an equal amount or less. He has saved more.
Unless Fauci's going around killing.
Yeah. Right, then okay. But that wouldn't be safe. I mean,
Right.
10, Sacho. Thanks for the sub. I would assume if one of them is going out killing, it's Joe Rogan.
Oh, yeah.
If it's one of them, yeah.
Fauci's a little old and wealthy to
Yeah,
be doing all that.
Fauci's like, oh, I gotta go kill people, tired.
Right.
Joe Rogan says, that's just my game. No, but typically someone who's devoted their life to medicine and immunology and, works for the government and tries to set standards saves less people than a radio host who's insane. So maybe. Yeah, it's close.
Raymond, thank you.
Yay.
Everybody loves that sub.
Yeah, very good. I can't say anything I want, otherwise I would get banned.
Right.
And your children's children would get banned. Yeah. Knight G5, X-Clan.
That does sound good.
F6 has no consequences because it's you got to put the pawn back, then just make a legal move. He'd be laughed at until our
Right.
throat was sore. Thanks, Dark Knight.
Oh, this is Bruce Wayne? Is that what it is? I don't know about comic books that much.
What?
The Dark Knight.
Oh,
It's the Batman. It is the Batman.
yeah. We have the best serial killers in the U.S.
Right.
He played Bishop C5, which is the most drawing of the drawing moves.
Right. Yeah.
That makes it the most drawn. So that's that shows that he wants to draw.
Yeah, it's like you guys talking about England's serial killers.
Yeah, come on. We live in America. We
I don't know who that guy is, but I'm sure he killed less than like some dude today.
we have kids in high school and their parents that are crushing your serial killers.
Yeah, come on. Oh, Russia does have good serial killers.
That's
though.
true.
I mean, good at being serial killers.
Yeah.
They're bad.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, America.
Yeah.
The Germans have the best serial killers.
Right. Yeah. Well, they definitely have a lot of history behind it. But,
Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, well,
the
that's
game-
all it takes, Dasters.
the game continued.
They got the
Rook
best
takes,
one.
Knight takes. Could anybody
Yeah.
in the chat draw Magnus or Nepo here?
No way.
Damn.
No way.
Harsh.
Oh, anybody in the chat? Maybe somebody.
Like Fen Beingold?
Right, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
No, right?
Fen Beingold would, yeah.
I don't
It's like
think
2300.
I would.
Yeah, you would. Here?
Fen is better than me, though.
If you were white, you wouldn't draw? I mean,
With white,
you take
you're
everything
right.
on E5.
Probably
how would you
could
not,
draw
how would you
that.
lose?
Yeah, you're right.
You just offer Magnus a draw.
With
and-
black, I'd still be too scared, though, because I'm pinned.
Yeah, with black, they play King H1, which
Right.
you missed, and you'd be like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah. They play King H1, be like,
Psychologically
oh, no.
crushed. Then after Queen F4, then you're
Still, somehow,
It's a
they
dead
would
draw.
win. They'd, lose a pawn and win. They'd, on purpose.
not
would
about
do it.
that. Not here. Man,
Well, maybe.
they're not Supermen. They're more like Aquaman.
Oh,
They
yeah,
need to be in-
Danya could draw
Need
this.
to be in
That's true.
water. Yeah. Yeah,
Danya.
Danya. Yeah.
Now you're talking.
They're both sitting there thinking like it's interesting. That's
Right.
Indeed.
Posturing, I like it. Wish I had more of a beard, so I could stroke my beard.
Yeah, this is the most boring position in chess history of world
Yeah.
championship.
Right. It's the longest game was before, then the worst game ever, and now this is the most boring game
Yeah.
ever. Well, his queen would be attacked eventually there. I'm sorry, awful, I guess.
I like the Danya thing. That's
Right, that is
Yeah,
good.
type exclaim Spencer. Make sure you get lessons with Spencer. He's not doing this for free. Come on, there you go.
Yes, Sven.
Go Spencer.
Go Svenster. Oh, he did take all his stuff. And then it was, he slid the rook to e6, but took it eventually.
Eh.
And now they're going to draw at least 100%. What is more likely than a draw here, on Earth?
Nothing.
All right. It's more likely it's a draw than, the sun will rise tomorrow morning. Sun could explode, for all I know.
Mm-hmm.
I could teach you chess, Indo, as long as you got that money. Grind, get the money, dollar
They're gonna
bill,
play
y'all.
Queen takes.
Yep,
Rook C8,
Rook B1 or
Rook
something.
B1
Yeah.
or A5. Rook
Right.
A5 is funny because that's a Rook C5, C4. And then
Oh,
takes.
yeah.
So he'll probably play Rook A5. Yeah.
Indo, you don't know what I've seen as a chess coach. You don't even know what I've seen.
The only reason to not agree to a draw is there's a 30 move rule. Otherwise, they should have agreed to a draw already. Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't agree to a draw. Rook A5 is more accurate because after rook here, rook you have to keep playing.
Yeah.
And now you don't have to keep playing. Rook C5 here is fun.
Yep.
C4 is explosive.
So you called it. It was less than an hour, and they'll draw.
Yeah, I said before the Karen would
Yeah,
get
yeah.
back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, both sides can offer a draw.
Well, if it's a
Who
30
will?
move rule, I'm not saying it is, then
30.
okay, that's 30. I don't know why they're playing if there's
King
not a
8.
30
So
move
how do they
rule.
make it as symmetrical as possible? King H7, Rook B8.
Put the rooks on G3 and G6.
They can also play F3, F6, Rook F8, Rook F1.
Are they waiting for the other one to offer a draw?
H4? I mean, how would you play that?
Well, they want to go G3, H5,
Yeah, I
King G2,
guess.
King G7.
Because even if you have an E6 pawn, it's a draw. Not
That
like
looks
a
more
dead draw.
drawn. Yeah, it's going to be King G2.
Oh, yeah, you're
King
right.
G2, King G7.
I'll have
draw.
to remember this when I
Yeah.
have Rook in 3H
Yeah.
to do this.
Yeah. After King G7, they'll agree to a draw. I have spoken. Yeah. And then they shake hands. No! Boo.
Dang it.
Yeah. I don't know
Van
why they're still, I don't know why they're
Boingold.
still playing.
Thank you.
Thanks for the 10 subs, dude.
Right, playing now is like a joke almost.
I don't know why. Maybe that's to play 40 moves. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. If they don't have to play 40 moves, what are they doing?
I don't know. What
Right.
could they be doing?
If
here?
they have to play 40 moves, it's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they're doing
Yeah,
it.
they're repeating. That's weird. They
Yeah, I
must
don't
think.
know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there is a 40 move rule. Yeah, they have to play 40 moves. That's
wow.
according to chess.com. Yeah.
40's a long.
Right.
Well,
They're
I
not
mean,
going to
30
play.
is
They're not going
normal,
to play 40 moves because it's going to be a repetition.
I like how it already says draw and they're making moves on the board.
Well, that's because it's slow. It's
Right.
but yeah.
It is funny though. Well,
We gotta follow the rules.
good game.
So what's funny about this is, like, 33% of this game is a joke.
Yeah.
Because like this, it becomes a joke like here.
Yeah.
Like after here,
Oh, yeah.
after here, it's a joke.
Yeah.
And then becomes like more of a. This is like a big portion of the game.
We'll do a recap, Bowler. You know how it
That
is.
was a lot of moves for Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, only like between moves 11 and 22 or so were decisions to be made.
Yeah.
It was basically a 10-move game.
They were like, man, I didn't sleep much last night. What about you?
I was up all night playing PlayStation.
Yeah. Yeah, Magnus was up all night playing Bullet with, whoever he plays Bullet with.
Sven, I think that you would still have losing chances.
Nah.
But you'd probably draw, yeah. Even Sven.
Are the 50 move and repeated draws automatic? No, you have
Gotta
to claim,
claim it, yeah.
and if it's 75 moves or 5-time repetition, the arbiter can claim.
But the Arbiter doesn't have to claim.
I don't think they do, right? Yeah, because the
Yeah.
arbiters. Wait, this arbiter's like suit and tie instead of in the United Arab like.
Oh,
outfit.
garb.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I've never seen this arbiter.
Scottish Demon Go, you'd lose for sure. Come on.
All night partying with Botez Live and Eric Rosen, probably, except for one thing.
Magnus has not yet won the championship
Thanks,
this year.
Sven Beingold. Yeah, this is a 14-game match. That was game, what, 7?
Yeah. Halfway there, living on a prayer.
Yeah, they're still talking about it after the game. Like, remember yesterday? Yeah. So this game was 2.5 hours instead of 7 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Good. All right, let's have a recap of the game if you're my YouTube person. It's funny, I thought the YouTube person that we have forgot to put the stream up yesterday because they put up the recap really quickly. And then I changed my mind because they did put it up like way later. And I changed my mind and think that since the stream was 8 hours and 30 minutes, and they do a little bit of
weighted
editing
it,
too.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it took 5 hours.
Totally.
But the recap came up, really early, of course, because we have a good YouTube person. Okay, this is Ben and Spencer. Karen's at the doctor because this game made her sick. No. So they played the Ruy Lopez. Jan is white. This is game 7. And they played this in games 1, 3, and 5. Okay. Now, in game 1, Jan played H3. And in games 3, 5, and 7, he played a4. In game 3, Magnus played bishop b7. And in games 5 and today's game, game 7, he played rook b8. Now, in this position, Jan had played c3 earlier. And in this game, he played, he played h3. And in this position, Jan's played c3. And this game, he played d3. So this is the first new position of the match for the players. And this is like slow and gives white a tiny advantage. He played h6, which stops knight g5, indicating it's likely he'll play rook e8, bishop f8. And if you play rook e8 when the bishop is here, knight g5 could be annoying in some positions. Well, now it's not annoying because pawn on h6. Okay, so he played knight c3, which changes the character of the game compared to previous games where Jan was always playing c3 or c4. So after knight c3, he did play his rook e8, bishop f8 idea, knight d5, and bishop f8. So here Jan thought quite a while about what to do. He played the engine recommended move, but the engine says white's a little bit better, but Magnus didn't really have a tough time diffusing, whatever white was doing, which wasn't very much. Now, one thing he could do, which would sort of semi-transpose, is after like some move like c3, if we trade and then play here and then go back here, and then if he plays queen f6, that's looking a lot like the game. Just that some extra moves were played. But it looks like the game.
With extra steps.
Yeah, so he just took on f6 right away, giving himself the d5 square, and he played c3. So instead of playing c3 right away, he played d3, he traded off his knight, and then he played c3. And the advantage for white to trading off the knight is with the knight not on f6, which it's not because he traded it, black doesn't have control over these two center squares, which means if white plays d4, this pawn isn't as weak because the knight's not on it, and black can't play d5 because there's no knight here. So as far as white playing d4 and black playing d5, what Jan did was quite good. He stopped d5 and he's ready to play d4. And Magnus played knight e7. He wants to move the knight around. He wants to play c5 and gain space. Bishop e3, recommended by the engine. Bishop e6, recommended by Spencer. And Jan's playing the first engine moves, but chess is a draw, and Magnus is playing excellent chess. Now, the problem with d4, which is the very natural reason to play c3, knight f3, bishop e3, is to play d4. And you think white is going to have a little advantage, is this was nicely diffused by Magnus by trading everything, which refutes everything I tell my students. So he traded on d4 and traded bishops. If we go back to the drawing board, it's not a better move, but if he takes with the knight or the bishop, the game would have had a different character. White's not better, but even though this is engine recommended and it's the only move that makes sense to me, why are you playing c3 to take one of these pieces? You want to get the nice center. Because of the way the game concluded, it seems like white has just no winning chances here. And he doesn't really, he's not better here, but just to keep the game going. But, rook e8, bishop f8, knight e7, bishop e6 takes. It's just very accurate from Magnus. And Magnus traded everything, and he put pressure on this pawn, which heretofore had no pressure ever. If we go back to this position, the rook is defending the pawn is defending the pawn, nothing is attacking the pawn, and to say that this rook is going to attack the pawn seems far-fetched. And he's not going to play bishop b7 because that blocks his rook and it weakens the b pawn, and the bishop has, a nice diagonal here. So then just a few moves later, because he played d4 and weakened his e4 pawn, Magnus punished that, if you can call it punishing it, by attacking it. It's not easy to defend. And if you do defend it, I could attack it again with queen e7. Now, the other problem that white has is if he successfully defends his pawn on e4, black can play c5, which seems really nice. Because black's going to take control of the e5 square. Black could get 2-1 on the queen side. And there's no reason that I would say white is better here. If I was playing and I just got to play here, I think I'd rather have black. I think it's harder for white to equalize. One of the engine lines was to trade these pawns. And there's no reason white's better here. These pieces aren't very good. Potentially this knight could get to d5. I don't see any reason why white's better here. Neither does the engines. So he played rook e c1, which was actually suggested by one of our viewers. And the reason to play rook e c1 is if we play the same variation, instead of the rook being on e1, the rook's on a1, so we're ready to double up on the bubble up, and white has a small advantage. The negative behind playing rook ec1 is the rook is not in position to defend the pawn, so Magnus can play c5 and trade everything off. Now, if I remember correctly, Fen Beingold, who gave 10 subs at the end, wondered why white didn't play queen d5 at some point. I would guess it would be here.
Yeah, that seems like a time to play it.
That's what I think he meant, but I'm not sure. The engine literally doesn't care about that. It says black can play c4, and it's completely equal, or black's better. Or I could play knight e7. Whoa. I could play knight e7. The queen can't go here because it loses the queen. It's like nowhere to go. And if you play the engine move, which is this, then the engine says black's fine here, but I'm wondering what to do against that. Queen d5 can't be a winning attempt because we're repeating. And
Right.
this is going to be very similar to the game, where we're just trading everything. Yeah. So I guess queen d5 is a better winning chance. And he did, but it doesn't give him much winning chances. Now, if we take this and take this and take this, we're just trading off to a draw. And Jan's move looks like it makes the game more interesting when actually it makes it more drawish. He played e5, hoping for takes, which is okay for black, but this is good winning chances for white with a c-pawn. And I guess if black gets a big attack on the king's side, which I don't believe in, then black can try to win too. If this was a must-win for black, I think Magnus would have done this. But instead he just moved his queen. All these pawns are traded off, and the bishops and knights got traded off. And it's pretty forcing. These pawns are weak. Black's going to capture all of them. So this is wholesale trades. If white wants to avoid trading the knights, he could play king h1. And every move is equal. Queen d3, queen f4, queen e4. And the king's not really good on h1. So he just acquiesced to the draw by playing knight takes. And the people in our chat said, if there's not a repetition, you need to get to move 40 to draw. I was wondering why they would keep playing here. So they actually repeated right at move 40. They did both. So that's good. And then always repeat. All right. Although I don't think this happened. I don't think those moves happened. I think after here...
I think he did play king f8, rook a6, or king f6, rook a6, and even king g7.
Yeah.
But maybe not rook a7.
All right. Well, they repeated and made 40 moves. So the game was drawn twice.
Yeah.
So that game
Double
was
draw.
white having a slight advantage and Magnus easily vacuuming the board, much to the delight of Radjabov and Giri, and making it look easy to draw. So, I mean...
It's tough to press Magnus in these Ruy Lopez's.
Yeah,
He just defends it so accurately. Knight e7, bishop e6, taking on d4. He understands everything there.
And Magnus obviously very happy to draw easily with black, but probably Jan not too unhappy because when you play 7 hours and 45 minutes, the next day you don't want to play 7 hours and 45 minutes.
Right.
So, getting to sleep at 2 a.m. So quick draw, easy game. Tomorrow they can fight, then they have a rest day the next day. So Monday's the rest day. Today's Saturday. Hopefully you're watching lots of football if you live in America. If you live in Europe, then you're also watching football. It's just a different kind of football.
Hopefully you're playing a lot of video games.
Yeah, So a nice equal kind of draw, no mistakes, and Jan, who had a tiny advantage out of the opening because he's white and Ruy Lopez, just couldn't do anything against Magnus's excellent defense.
Thank you, Siwad.
Very good game. It could have been more interesting. They could have played crazy, but played sort of, sane chess. Good game. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time to do game analysis, and then Monday's a rest day. This was Game 7. Magnus gets white tomorrow in Game 8, and we will see you tomorrow. Now
Take
we
it
have
easy,
to
guys.
raid. Who are we going to raid? Or whom?
Oh.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Nope.
Yeah, I don't like
No.
Maybe somebody down here.
Boo.
He's pretty cool.
He is?
He's old school,
Who's that?
You don't know?
Yeah, I know. I always say who it is when they tell me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's the best we got.
Well, I never rated him, I don't think, because I don't know who it is. Yeah.
He's one of the first people I ever watched on YouTube.
But I've never heard of him. Also, I never heard of a Ganmador. All right. Bye
everyone.
everybody.